Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. We're going to be talking about Browns Rams preseason game. It's getting ready to kick off in just mere minutes now. We're going to get to see all the quarterbacks we have spent all summer talking about. Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. You're going to be locked in for 4 quarters of preseason football. Hopefully, we see some encouraging stuff from each and every quarterback that goes out there. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Yeah, say prayers that we stay healthy. Absolutely. I want everybody this week of preseason to stay healthy. That's the best news for every team in NFL. All 32 teams, just stay healthy. You know, go into the regular season nice and healthy. And then you roll it out and you see what you got here. Someone said no Kenny Pickett. I know that. I'm aware. There's no Kenny Pickett. And like I said, we're going to see all the quarterbacks that we've been excited to see. Ain't none of y'all been excited to see no damn Kenny Pickett. Don't lie to me now, chat. Don't you lie to me, chat. I've listened to the comments. I know you guys have not been excited about the prospect of Kenny Pickett. How far away are we from kickoff? I wonder what the timer is in the stadium. Yeah, now keep in mind, the level of competition each unit is going to play is very low. The Rams are dressing like 35 players. I'm not even joking. They're not dressing anybody. The Rams aren't even playing Stetson Bennett, their third string quarterback. Think about that. They weren't playing their backup. They're not playing their third string. So there's not going to be any starters or anything even close to that in the game for the Rams. This is just more about the Browns getting the operation the way that they want to get the operation down. Someone said Kenny Pickett still got loyal followers. Bring them out. I've talked all kind of stuff about Kenny Pickett over the years, and nobody's really ever been like, hey, man. One more says, I know we like the Stefanski pantry. I do think we should also consider the Berry Farm. Is that like for wide receivers? Where can you get that? I got this from New Era. This is the Browns draft hat. Yeah, this is the Browns draft hat for people asking me. But yeah, a lot to get into. This game seems like it's taking a delay. Ray Rag says, I was only excited to see Kenny Pickett just to see Gabriel and Sanders fans come together to hate Pickett playing. Yeah. We'll see, man. I'm really curious how they're going to operate this whole Kenny Pickett thing, because I just don't buy that they're going to keep all 4. Because if Kenny Pickett had a better camp, I would buy it. I don't think it's crazy, the premise, to keep 4 quarterbacks. I do think it's kind of crazy to keep Kenny Pickett when he ain't do nothing in camp. But we'll see. Yeah. No first teamers for the Rams, no second teamers for the Rams, no rotational guys for the Rams. The Rams are playing 35 people. They're going like old school preseason 4th game here. How do I feel about, is that the new dog pound logo? Yeah, I don't mind it. It's a secondary logo. Well, really a tertiary logo. Yeah, we're 6 minutes after 1, still waiting for kickoff here. Yeah, we get to see Isaiah Bond as well. Again, the execution that you see in this game, I'm not really gonna take too much note of it, right? I expect strong execution in this game from the Browns, given that the Rams really aren't running anybody out there. but it's really just the process. You want to see clean process here.
One of the great young minds in our game still, even after 9 seasons.
Dustin Hopkins getting all set to boot it away. Brennan Presley, number 81 for the Rams. Cody Schrader back there, number 32.
Hello, Q. Hope everyone is having a good day. Good time. Appreciate you, man. That's from Food Loves You.
Rehearsal before the curtain comes up. 2 weeks from tomorrow, we are underway in Cleveland. Rams will take a knee and start out at the 35-yard line, and they are under the leadership this afternoon of their 4th straight quarterback, Dresser Wynn, first-year man out of Tennessee. Martin made 32 collegiate starts. The Browns, you're going to see a lot of starters out there, including the number 5 overall pick, Mason Graham.
Got another super chat from Dragon. Would you say if Shador or Dylan doesn't show out against the 5th strings, it would be really? Not really. I'm not really going to take away from the execution.
Not going to see Myles Garrett or the 2 starting corners, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, both those guys nursing shoulder injuries. They should be good to go, though, in week 1. Rams are going to keep it on the ground. Turquez Hunter, their 4th-round pick out of Auburn. Today's defensive position back brought to you by Big Big, the mattress made for more crafted in Cleveland.
Got another super chat here from Rex Fortune. I'm glad we have games today. I have to work, and AEW's having a pay-per-view right now in London. Need to stay off socials to avoid spoilers. Is that right now? I thought that was Sunday.
This depth will be tested, but you see Carson Schwarzenegger, first pick of the 2nd round. He's going
I already bought it, so I'm definitely going to watch it sometime tomorrow.
It's Hunter again up the gut.
All right, 3rd and short.
And about a yard shy of the first down.
First 2 plays there for the Rams are running what we call duo, which is basically power blocking without pulling anybody. Just get double teams at the point of attack, let the running back find a little bit of a hole.
Got the scoreboard set up.
Step up and
Get a good look at Malik Collins. For the free
Browns got a lot of guys on the line here. Probably going to only send 4. No, they're sending everybody.
whistles and
It might be a false start. Going to set them back 5 yards.
false start. One of my favorites.
You guys all look at each other when that happens? Or do you
Sometimes you look at the center and you go, oh, they didn't call my number.
All right, 3rd and 6 here for the Browns.
Didn't snap it when he was supposed to, and so I moved, and then they give me the penalty, and then now Matt answering the questions in the media after, why'd you have 2 penalties in the game? And then you're left with this conundrum. Do I throw Alex back?
They got Schlesinger mugging in the A-gap.
Isn't he like a 7 times?
Wide front, right at the edge.
3rd and 6.
Oh, right up the middle. And Carson Schlesinger with a free run right at the quarterback. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
It's really good in the Browns, but this is what sometimes is going to happen.
Look, he mugs in the gap. You got
Afraid to go into his bag of tricks, even though it's
a wide front there. 2 guys go over to Mason Graham, and that opens up a giant hole for Carson Schlesinger to attack through.
smokes the Rams quarterback.
Ethan Evans on to boot it away for the Rams. DeAndre Carter.
And that'll be a 3 and out. We're going to see DeAndre Carter for the first time.
Season, the veteran return man.
He's going to get the ball here.
Up close to the 20.
And a decent return.
Get a chance to
And let's see Joe Flacco.
is led by 40-year-old Joe Flacco down in his 18th season. Your Huntington Bank quarterback profile. Proud to be the official bank of the Browns. Flacco won this organization by going
So at left guard today, it's going to be Zach Zinter instead of Tevin Jenkins.
still spinning.
40 years old. I'm happy.
Joe Flacco's returned to Cleveland since 2023. They got Dylan Sampson in the backfield to start the game.
One of the defensive linemen, the fullback.
Dylan's going to run and a little bit. Good run, good run, good run.
We just saw number 66
5 yards on first down.
extra tight end. Bring it.
And you saw right there, Aiden Huntington, the defensive tackle for the Browns, who has been making waves in camp. He just lined up at eligible tackle here. So if you're wondering, hey, are the Browns going to keep 3 tight ends? What's the plan here? Aiden Huntington might be a part of that.
Shotgun.
2nd and 6.
Nick Sampson in the backfield. First throw of the day. Looks left, throws, connects.
It's a little off by Joe.
A little too low, actually, for the Pro Bowler Jerry Jeudy, who had an outstanding first
It's going to be 3rd and 6 here.
Browns picked up Jerry Jeudy last year. I think there was some wonderment about what you were going to get out of the guy, but he's been incredible. He's been incredible, having his best season as an NFL player, and him and Joe Flacco have had a special connection thus far in training.
And 90 catches a year ago, that's the most of any Browns player in team history. 3rd and 6.
You got Laverton in motion.
Flacco to throw again. Looks, reads, connects with David Njoku. He's going to be tackled shy of.
And they're going to probably have to punt here.
Fields wrapping him up.
Tony Fields, former Brown.
Returned to Cleveland, of course, spent the first 4 years of his career, and he's fired up. Browns go 3 and out. Now it's exciting.
Yeah, so missed throw by Flacco there right out the 2nd and 6, kind of slows down. Didn't really have anything open downfield. Went to check down. Didn't get the broken tackle there. You get the 4th and 1. It's on your 30. You got a punt.
Preseason on to kick it away to Drake Stoops. Yeah, that's the son of former Oklahoma coach Bob Stoops. This one,
Boy, who's gunning right there? Tony Brown is gunning. Good job by the punt team. Great job. You're going to see, first of all, great job by Corey Bojorquez, obviously. Good job pinning him back there. But watch the gunner here, right? Watch Tony Brown. He just made the team on this one, right? Gets down there so quickly that even if that ball ricocheted into the end zone, he can make a play on it. That's a great job gunning by number 11.
That's why Nature Valiant.
Someone said Flacco should be done. Like, no, let him play. Let him get his reps in. They said 20 plays. Give him 20 plays. It doesn't matter that the Rams aren't playing anybody. Yeah, Corey's really good. Corey's a good ball player. We're lucky to have Corey as our punter. Hey, guys, it's one drive. Super chat, even if it's the preseason, Flacco's first start in 2023 was against the Rams, and first start back is also against the Rams. That is a interesting coincidence. Yeah, I said this in my earlier video, too, in regards to Flacco. I really don't care how Flacco looks today. I know people are going to overanalyze it to death, but y'all, don't we know how Joe Flacco looks? We know what Joe Flacco looks like when he's not playing well in Cleveland in this offense with these players. We know what Joe Flacco looks like when he's playing well. It's not really going to change because he's in the preseason right now. Like, I don't expect him to light it up. Like, he has nothing to prove here right now. He's already the starter. Just go out there, execute, do a better job. But I'm not really going to trip either way on the result from Joe, because I know what Joe, I've seen regular season work from Joe. That supersedes anything in the preseason or in training camp. So, yeah, I know some people are freaking out because the offense went 3 and out and the Rams aren't playing anybody, but even if you're playing nobody, you're going to have a 3 and out in a game. Like, that's just kind of how it works.
I see you. He's ready. He's ready for the regular season. Rams under the leadership of.
All right, let's see Mason Graham get after it here.
Rams will keep it on the ground.
The backside defense by Hickman.
The back seven, particularly the cornerbacks. I think there's a lot of question marks right now. Good work at the shoulders, so he's not out there today. Those guys are Pro Bowlers. We know what we got there, but lots of MJ Emerson. They've been looking for that nickel slot corner to be able to step up, and they think maybe Nick Needham has moved into that role from safety and could possibly be that answer this year. So we'll be watching it go.
2nd and 8 for the Rams.
Play action. Intercepted. Oh, Miles Harden dropped it.
Easy pick 6 if he could have stayed in bounds.
All right, you know what though? It's the preseason. I want the reps. I want the reps. Question is, this year the most you blogged? Is this year the most I blogged about the football team since you never took a break this season? Is it because of Sanders? No, my output was pretty much the same last year. 2 videos in the off season, 3 videos once we ramp up to the regular season. This is a schedule I started in 2024. Let's get after it. And a sandwich. Alex Wright and Mason Graham. Defense looks good. Yeah, Mason Graham eats that double, still moves forward, able to help his man out there. Alex Wright with a nice little rush, working through a double. Good job there. Just beats his man. I think he got a tight end on him.
No answer. It's interesting.
Great job by everybody on that defensive line, just getting pressure. You expect them to win these kind of situations, obviously, but you still want to see it.
Kicks it away, Carter. And it's a good boot. Kicks it in his 46 into Rams territory. Keeps his footing and gets it inside the 45 before he is.
I think DeAndre Carter's a decent returner. All right, offense with plus field position. Let's see him get some work out here now. So far, so good from the defense. Again, you're expecting to dominate here defensively. That is the strength of the team. Just getting pressure up front. We're not even getting to see the corners get any work, if I'm being honest. Yeah, the first team defense, I would honestly take the defensive line out the next drive just so you can get the corner some work, because the defensive line is dominating so much. We're not getting any work for the corners at this point. We know this defensive line. They're going to be one of the best in the NFL this year. So even without Miles, it's just an unfair matchup for what the Rams have out there. You know, I want to see the corners get some work here. Isaiah Bond on the field.
The newest Browns Isaiah Bond signed this week.
Are we already at the twos?
Andrew Berry, who will join us a little bit later, said they spent.
Oh no, okay. We took some of the ones out. No, we didn't. Okay, we're just in a different package.
Your deal. Joe Flacco swings it out to Ford. Gets
all right. 3-4 yards.
Didi Kinkawala joining us this afternoon.
Hi, Chris. Joe Flacco is the father of 4 boys and a brilliant little girl, and his 2 older sons have very famously been on the record saying they're not impressed with their dad. In fact, one of them went to a game that their dad was starting in Miami wearing a Tyreek Hill jersey. So this week, Flacco tells us that he called his oldest son, Steven. He said that I won the starting job. Steven told his second brother, Daniel, and Daniel said, no. Flacco told us he didn't even believe it until he actually saw the news headline. Tough audience.
It is a tough audience. There's a
Oh, go, 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 go. Better block by Deontay Johnson, too. Good run by Jerome.
So this is 2-0, just like we were talking.
Yeah, good job. Who was that? Harold Fanon? Good job by Harold Fanon. Better run by Jerome Ford.
Using his speed to run around the defense and make a nice run with a great finish there, lowering his shoulder. Boom on the side.
You're in a nice rhythm here. You might want to hit something on play action if you get another successful run here.
First and 10, it's Ford.
There you go.
It's wrapped up after 81. All right, time right now for the offensive line. Position group to watch presented to you by Big Fig. Yeah, we're watching all.
Thrash checking in.
The interesting thing about it is that 4 of the 5 guys, Antonio, Posick, Teller, and Conklin, they're all in their 30s. They're all in the last years of their deal.
You know, I don't usually like to talk offensive line, but we got 4 really veteran, excellent players here. That's why the Browns want to lean on their run game this season.
That's Gage Largadan, the quick hitter.
Yeah, they're not really running anything. The offense, the first team offense, they're really just working run plays, procedure. They're not really running anything special right now. They ran more interesting stuff when Dylan was out there.
And actually tried to cut it up inside, but ended up cutting it right into the.
I mean, they're not even running stick.
So those 2 guys.
They're playing it super safe offensively
Operation is really one
in the pass game.
with their technique, and it's not clean on that.
3rd and 9 for the Browns. Midway through
It's
this
a quarter shell.
Flacco, time, swings it, Simpson,
Good play by Sampson. Stays on his feet. Gets the first down there.
There's bad news. The Browns starting center, Ethan Posick, is down in the backfield.
Hopefully it's not bad. Good job by Sampson staying on his feet. His contact balance really stood out to me when I watched him at Tennessee.
We've seen too much of in recent years.
Did he roll his ankle?
His lower leg. We will take a break and get an update with the Browns moving.
Canton, Ohio is now the home where champions play. It's the Black.
Hopefully it's not serious. Nice to see Sampson get some touch, though. Yeah, he got rolled up on. Again, hopefully it's not a full-born sprain. Hopefully it's something he can recover in the 2 weeks the Browns have before they play week 1. If he can't play, I mean, Luke Whippler is a solid backup, so it's not a disaster, right? But hopefully he's okay. It's a short-term injury. Yeah, let me look for an update. I'm looking for an update on the on the Easton Posick thing. Okay, so he was helped up and he walked off the field on his own power, headed to the medical tent. So he didn't need the cart, so that's a good sign.
And he did walk off under his own power.
We'll see.
Gives you an update momentarily. In the meantime, Luke Whippler, the 3rd-year center out of Ohio State, has taken his place. Browns are in the red zone Presented by Milkbone. Milkbone bringing more dog to the dog pound. Rams bringing a blitz on
Yeah, I'm not 100% here, but I think on that play,
back to the line of scrimmage.
I think Harold Faden did not finish his block here.
He was supposed to get there when the Rams blitzed off the left edge. Just let the guy unblocked. He was able to get it back.
Jerome Ford is checked back into the game. Once again, the starters expected to play between 20 and 25 snaps. Flacco, another throw. Looks.
Touchdown. Harold Faden. Well, he got it back. All right. Well, way to get open there. Nice.
Time teaching about a block where they can catch like that and get themselves open.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big part of the offense as much as a backup tight end can be. Look at his route here. Great corner route. I think that's a DB on him. He just beats him easy. He was super productive at Bowling Green, and not just productive at Bowling Green, but I mean, playing with the disadvantage on the road against Power 5 schools, he dominated while he was out there. I expect him to be much better than people are anticipating, but yeah, that's a great catch through contact too.
Browns take over and Rams.
All right, so they finish the drive, they score. Hopefully their center's not hurt too badly.
Bowling Green, his first NFL touchdown.
Big BG there.
Gets
All right, after this, so if you watched my video earlier, I had this idea of like, hey, let's just put Dylan out there a little earlier than he expects with the ones just to see if he can handle being a backup. I would do it anytime after this first touchdown, right? So now that you got the touchdown, you feel good, you finish the drive, we're going to post Harold Faden highlights. Great. All right, let's get some other work in here. Also, defensively, I think we can pull the first team D-line. I don't think we're going to get any work from our corners if we got those guys in. Like, all we're going to find out is that Mason Graham's much better than the third string center that the Rams have, which we know. Well, dude, look, I don't think they should pull the defensive line because I'm worried about injury. I just want the corners to get work. And right now, the defensive line is so dominant against the Rams. And maybe you just tell them to chill out a little bit, but I don't want my defensive lineman to get used to chilling out ever. You know, he's seeking missiles, like get used to firing. So I just pull them and say, hey, we see what we need from you guys. We need to see something from the secondary. We're not going to get any work from the secondary if we're just destroying the line off a half a second. So pull the starting defensive line just so you can see some work from your corners. You know, offensively, I think they want to keep Joe Flacco out there. Probably another drive. You know, get him nice and warmed up, ready for the season. I also think, you know, you might want to use this as an opportunity to see if Dylan's ready to be a backup, you know, while you're trying to make a decision.
He walked into the locker room of his own accord. I'm watching Dylan Gabriel warm up right now. It looks like Joe Flacco's day may be done.
Okay, Dylan's coming in.
He told us 20 to 25 plays. Looks like it's going to be a little less than that. The third rounder out of Oregon will be up next. Hopkins kick, taken by Presley.
Oh, is that Huntington? Oh, my God.
He gets swallowed up by Christopher Edmonds.
What a play by Huntington to turn that back on the other side. Watch 66 here. If you get a replay, if you're watching behind me, he shoots his alley so well with such control right here. And then he forces this return basically to go strong side, well, weak side. That look, he didn't make the tackle. 37 makes the tackle. That is 100% 66 that made that play. That is how is he down there before everybody? They all got to start at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, they pulled They didn't pull anybody.
Well, don't let's not give it away.
No, when they came in the NFL.
Whistle and a flag,
It's got to be a.
like delay a game.
Play clock. There's a charge timeout. Los Angeles. They're first. 30 seconds.
We talked about operation, right? Which is always the boring thing to talk about in preseason, but it's really what the coaches want to get out of this game. If you're looking at the Browns starters, and what you just saw there is what Kevin Stefanski does not want to see from his starters and from any of his guys, because you're coming out of a timeout and you almost go through the whole play clock, have to waste a timeout. That is a bad ball.
Guess Sean McVay didn't love it either.
Sean McVay is going, come on, guys. I know that I didn't bring all my dudes, but let's get the plan. You guys have had it for 40 seconds.
The pride of Miami University, by the way, or in Dayton, Ohio. His formative years down in Georgia. We actually won Football Player of the Year over Calvin Johnson down there. That's Hunter. With some bruising running. Up near the 20.
Who's at that defensive end? Is that Collins?
Now his third year as the DC. And 2 years ago, this was the #1 defense in the NFL. Fell to about
Trying to see here.
season ago, but based on what
Yeah, I think Collins 96 got way too far upfield on that one.
Eagles, they could be back.
Good job by Schlesinger filling the gap, making a tackle.
Explosive this offense is going to be. It's going to be more of the ground and pound and take shots.
Sweats triggered.
Watching that defense,
He's going to fall back.
and specifically against the Philadelphia Eagles offense, I think Gabe Brown has a lot of confidence because they would completely
Oh, Collins with the TFL there.
Well, that's Malik Collins,
Yeah.
10-year vet, signed in the offseason.
All right, third down. They're going to have to pass here. Again, we just haven't got to see these corners get a lot of work in.
Or Dallas, the guy that's always produced, just a pro.
especially on the defensive line on the inside, that are just reliable. They're always going to maintain their gap.
5:15 left in the first. We're at 36.
3rd and 6 for the Rams, still looking for their initial
Single high.
of the game.
Browns are sending 4.
Keeping it on the
Play action, and it is nowhere with Isaiah McGuire in the backfield.
remarkable run this preseason.
Again, it's not surprising that the Browns' first team sort of defensive line is this dominant. It is fascinating to watch. I mean, just look at just the ease. I mean, there's a holding there on 64 that's probably going to get called on Mason Graham. What? What they call? Unsportsmanlike conduct?
The league has started to tighten the screws on in recent years.
What?
Suppose celebrating this one thing, they're drawing the line pretty early here in the preseason.
What did he do?
During the regular season, that's going to be a no-go.
Preseason has a lot of
What was the celebration?
emphasize it. They call a little bit more than they normally would on some of the points that they've been talked to by the NFL that they really want to make sure that they're
Did he do finger guns? Are we really? What the fuck, man?
So first down.
Great job by Devin Bush. All right, I think they took some of the starting defensive linemen out, though.
Devin Bush doing a great job here, recognizing the route coverage, seeing the eyes of the quarterback.
Great job by
breaking down the
Devin.
Play and sticking his hand out there to disrupt the opportunity for the receiver to catch the ball, bring it all the way into his chest. Excellent reaction there by Devin Bush with his eyes on the quarterback first, and then finding where that ball is going and disrupting the play.
It's going to be a fast linebacking crew with Bush, Schlesinger, and Diabate this year. Rams again.
Nothing. And Devin Bush again.
Bush.
He's been, look, this reclamation project for the Browns, Devin Bush has really worked out for them. And it's extra sweet because this is a failed Steelers draft pick, right? First round pick. They traded up, I think, into the top 10 to go get him.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate you cutting me off there. Quick recognition by Devin Bush, understanding what the play is, seeing the ball, and then blasting right through the A-gaps of the Los Angeles Rams for a big play.
All right, we will pause now for a word from Sarshone.
Hey, what if the Browns just put Myles Garrett out there for one play? Like, this guy's been getting his ass beat back there, the quarterback for the Rams, this poor guy. It's like the 4th-string quarterback for the Rams. And then all of a sudden you get out there, you're like, all right, they're going to start taking some of these beasts out. So, you know, I can start playing a little bit. And then you see Myles Garrett walk up into the A gap. Is Bush looking at a suspension? I don't know. I have not heard of an NFL investigation for what he has had, but he has been pretty effective.
Preseason. Good job.
Because he has a domestic dispute too.
We saw him warming up today a little bit.
Yes, it passed.
It passed.
And actually, he was the last round to leave the field during pregame to a thunderous ovation for signing that 4-year extension. 3rd and 11 for the Rams. Win.
He finally gets some time here.
Leaks out.
He's not going to get that. Rex Fortune says finger guns and throat slashes are now 15 yards. Why do they not want any personality? I mean, like, we keep doing this fucking seesaw with the NFL, and it drives me crazy because one year they're starting to roll, like they rolled 10 years ago, they started rolling all that stuff back. They were being called the No Fun League. They're going to let celebrations happen. They put celebration cams in the end zone, and that was good, right? That was good for the league, and net positive. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, hey, we're going to be super sensitive to finger guns and throat slashes. It's like, what is this? Who asked for this? I don't know of anybody asking for this. Like, who are the people who want this? Is it just sponsors who want this? There's no people. There's no population of people. No matter where they sit on whatever spectrum you want to have them on, right? Political, religious, anything. There's no large-scale group of people demanding that the NFL get rid of finger gun celebrations. So who is this for? Truly. Who is this serving? Joe Flacco's back out there, by the way.
68 is checked in. Teller and Jones, the 2 opening day starters, remain in. Once again, if we hear anything about Ethan Posick, we will pass it along. Flacco on a play fake, dumps it out to Ford. Nice adjustment on the catch. Gains about a yard or so before being brought down by Cam Lampkin.
Ford does a great job finishing the ball in his hand a couple times down the sideline.
Someone should have told them the nose wipe was
After the catch, giving a nice little move.
was a gang thing.
But just not going down easy, right? That's that mentality that
It's really not a gang thing. Like, it's a gang thing if Young Thug does it because that's his gang. But if somebody else does it, it's not a gang thing. It's just
For the Browns,
a rap thing. But whatever.
that's Pierre Strong for the first time.
Again, like, who the fuck is asking for this? Like, you know, I talk to football fans every day, and nobody is ever like, hey, Quincy, man, we got to do something about these finger gun celebrations.
Let's get into the action a little bit.
I missed the Harold TD, but it sounds promising. Yeah, he's had a great camp.
the question, who are going to be the workhorse backs for the Browns this season? Ford's done a great job. They've had some really nice play from Dylan Sampson and Pierre Strong, and had the right tackle. Not missed his block on that one. You may have some space there for a man to run.
3rd and 8. Screen set up.
Yeah, he got it.
It's gonna be Strong. Gets the-
Wait for your blocks, Pierre. There we go. Pierre, you gotta gear down there. Let 70 get in front of you. Gotta gear down there. You probably had like 5-7 extra yards if you just slow down. Look here, he does a good job timing it out. And look how he just kind of blows by 70. Just let 70 get in front. He can handle that first guy for you. And then you can, you know, use that time picking up some speed after you see him engage.
Easy getting those extra yards, converting that thing to a first down, and keeping the chains moving.
Minute and a half
Be more
to go in
patient.
The opening quarter, Flacco is connected on 7 of his first 8 for 55 yards. Flacco to throw again.
Oh, that's old school Joe Flacco right there. That's old school Joe right there. We seen that plenty in 2023.
Njoku became a different player when Joe Flacco signed on.
I mean, how many times did we see this in 23? It basically looks like an RPO. He's just waiting for him to clear that zone.
Feels so comfortable with the way Njoku finds the little open space. Those
Yeah, they have great chemistry together.
Mahomes and Travis Kelce. It's like they're just playing basketball.
All right, Joe. I'm gonna go that far.
Open spot, nothing that's written in the playbook, but they just have that great feel between the two of them.
Called him a beautiful human being.
Classic joke comments there.
End around.
Flacco again. Fannin, he's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Well, right by the rim. But look
Oh.
at this. The spin move. He was not finished.
Good effort.
That's about a good 2-yard reception, as you'll see at this level.
That was a fun one for being a play that really was sniffed out early by the Rams.
Let it run to this. Let it run to the quarter. Let it run to the quarter.
But you know what I really like is that Browns have had a physical training camp this year. You're seeing the results on the field here with that physicality.
Well, the Browns starters have played the balance in the first quarter, and it has shown a little sparky. That's right. Harold Fannin Jr. connected with Joe and a 7.
If you know luxury, it's not just important, it's rewarding. Sofa Mattresses supports all types of sleepers. Luxury is handcrafted and assembled in American factories and brought directly to you with our complimentary in-home delivery.
Okay, yeah. See, dude in the chat who told me Forbidden Door was right now. It's tomorrow. You even freaked me out for no reason. Good Lord. Okay, it is tomorrow. I was like, dog, I plan my whole day tomorrow around Forbidden Door. Yeah, Forbidden Door is tomorrow, man. Okay.
DQ chicken strip basket.
Free phone on Games.
Hey, this is like the most guaranteed thing somebody in chat's gonna do. Let somebody good get a highlight. They're like, all right, seen enough. David Njoku gets the highlight. All right, take him out the game. It's like, hey guys, come on, let him finish the drive. Let's play football here. Like, it's fascinating that like people will complain consistently that Kevin Stefanski does not have physical enough camps, does not play enough in the preseason. But then overwhelmingly, when I watch these preseason games and I look at the chat, the second a good player does something decent, we're like, pull him out the game. And it's like, what do we want? Do we want to be prepared for week one? Do we want to have physicality in camp? Or do we just want to protect from injury? Because I've seen this team overemphasize protecting from injury and it not lead to great results. Oh, I thought he said he was happy that Forbidden Door was today, because I thought he said he was happy the Browns played today because Forbidden Door's going on. He's avoiding spoilers, right? I thought that's what he said. Yeah, look, I'm not going to be critical of Kevin for switching up the physicality he had with practice. I appreciate it. How much of the playbook Betsy asks does Isaiah Bond know? He knows this. North. You see the end zone, run straight that way and I'll find you. That's the part of offense he knows. That, and every once in a while cut and run towards the post.
Completions, 6 different receivers have caught passes. It's got it going. As to the Browns, opening play of the second quarter. Flacco, pressured, dropped.
Hey, man, why is Joe Flacco out there with the Monty Marshall?
Elias Neal with the sack. In the meantime, the Browns' last drive resulted in the touchdown for the first string offense from Ward, laying the wood, and then Dylan Sampson with the spin move to eventually set up the rookie tight end.
Junior on the post, doing a great job securing the football, taking the hit, and getting that touchdown in the NFL.
Throw a screen, move on with the game, try to get a field goal here. Yeah, I don't mind that.
3rd and 18.
Try to get a field goal. It's at 45, 55.
So let's see if it'll be on time. It will be.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to kick the field goal.
The second time today.
I know it's only the preseason going up against the second team and third team, but I feel comfortable with the 3 quarterbacks going into the season. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I feel fine. I feel the reason I feel fine is the context of the Browns quarterbacks were so bad last year that I don't think they're going to be close to that bad this year.
And that quarterback knowing where he's protected. That one that we had a sack of Monty Marshall.
Well, what's the call here? It's on us.
Inside out.
The false start.
He was able to slip.
I think that's actually good. They might want to decline that. They're going to take it? All right, yeah, I would take it if I were the
Ball
Browns for
started
sure.
5 yards back for the Browns.
Our punter, a little bit more space there. We saw Cortez on his last one, standing on his 20-yard line. Boot the ball, landed on the 1-yard line, bounces back. So he's got plenty of leg and probably actually is not upset about backing up a little bit.
Well, you can keep it going for him. Last year, he booted an 84-yarder against the Raiders. That was the longest in Browns history.
This one's good.
Calls for the fair catch at his own 11. All right, time right now for your trivia answer. It's brought to you by Franklin University. Franklin makes it possible for you to earn an affordable degree that fits your life. The question was, who's the youngest Browns player to make a Pro Bowl appearance? You want to guess?
Yes, Miles Garrett. I think that's a safe bet. Oh, that's a wood.
Yes. 21 years old, the first of 4 Pro Bowl appearances. And coming off his best season, by the way, a year ago. It was tough for the team. He was outstanding.
Great news. Called him the best cornerback in the league this offseason, and really played like that thus far season.
Cody Schrader in the backfield for the Rams. Stressor Wynn remains in the game. Looks deep, looks left. Overthrows Terrence Ferguson, the second-round pick out of Oregon, who caught an awful lot of passes from the Browns' third-round selection, Dylan Gabriel.
Rayshawn Jenkins there doing a nice job. He's got man coverage. They're trying to run, used to call it like a stomp route, basically just an inside fade there, where when you have inside leverage by the defender, you've got some space on the sideline as long as you don't get any hook curl player that's sliding out there. But good job, Rayshawn Jenkins, squeezing the receiver to the sideline, giving the quarterback nowhere to throw the football.
For a guy that played offensive line, you know a lot about catching it.
I can look at spaces. I can't catch it, but I can tell you what you should have done.
Not true. Not true. And around. That's Preston. Getting up toward the 20. Good spin.
Yeah, the starter's got to be out there, right?
But not before a Rams first down. Up to the 28-yard line.
Jones in there in the tackle. He's going to be one of the guys that they're taking a good look at here and trying to figure out what type of role can he have in the secondary this year with, like I mentioned earlier, the injury to FJ Anderson, trying to figure out what that depth is going to look like behind Newsom and Ford.
Yeah, it's possible the Browns are going to be doing a little cornerback shopping on Tuesday. 4 o'clock.
Yeah, they got to do some corner shopping.
Trader right up the middle. It's a lot of the Browns' second.
Yeah, we got with Sam Kamara out there now.
Gain of almost
They took the starters out. I mean, Joe Tryon, Shoyinka is out there.
Really
Cam Thomas is out there.
Season pretty much unblockable from the defensive line. And one of their marquees is the way that they run to the football, the way they hit, the way they play physically, you know, kind of reflection of the defensive coordinator's attitude and the type of person he is there. So a little soft on that direct run from the Rams. You'd like to see him tighten it up here, maybe send a pressure right here from the linebacker.
Presley in motion. He's going to get it.
Oh, got to finish the play, Joe.
Does a nice job to get the ball.
Oh, good play. Got to finish it. All right, get him off the field.
Devin Bush had him wrapped up for just a second. Actually, it was Shoyinka who had him initially. And then Bush to clean it up.
Nice athletic play there by Troyan Shoyinka, seeing the jet sweep and being able to just run upfield, get his hand on that receiver. It's a tough angle for him. You've got a guy who's already faster than you running towards the sideline, and you got to be able to make that play. Otherwise, that guy runs a long way down the sideline.
3rd and 2, Rams on the ground.
There you go. Good stop. Good stop. Get him off the field. All right, let's Dylan time. Let's see Dylan.
And they'll bring the punt unit back on. So the Browns defense tightens.
Browns sent secondary pressure there. Great job by number 28. Rayshawn Jenkins getting in there, getting physical, clouding up those gaps to the inside where the Rams are trying to run, giving them an opportunity to get off the field here, forcing the Rams to punt.
12-year veteran Shelby Harris in on the action there. Now in his 3rd year with the Browns. What a great career he's had, is he? Originally a 7th-round pick. Evans for the 4th time. And Carter's going to watch it sail out of bounds.
All right. Who's coming out? All right. Dylan's out there.
It's the 3rd-round pick, Dylan.
All right. So Joe Flacco went out there. I've said it before the video in the morning. I was not really going to care that much about how Joe Flacco looked. And Joe Flacco looked like Joe Flacco, man. Like he looked like Joe Flacco in the preseason. Obviously, he's not going to go out there and try to do everything that he's going to do in the regular season. You know, you expect Joe to be a lot better. You expect Joe to understand the difference of what gear he needs to be in the preseason and regular season. He's a veteran, man. Like, we know what Joe Flacco offers. We've seen Joe Flacco in this offense. We got to see some of it, right? The throw to David Njoku, the pass to Harold Fainin. We know what he offers. There's really not a lot you can answer there, in my opinion, about Joe Flacco. So, not really going to be too deep into my back about that. I thought the offensive line run blocked well. You expect that. They're not going up against the toughest competition, but it was nice to see. Dylan Sampson showed you some positive signs. Again, I'm really nervous about the amount of carries right now we're going to have to give Dylan, given he's a 4th-round pick. But maybe he's ready for that. Maybe he's built for that. David Njoku looks fine. Harold Fainin looked good, promising. Wish we got to see more out of Cedric Tillman. Maybe he'll still be out there. But, yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fine run but from the first team. Obviously, first-team defense, they look really good, but you expect that, man. We get to see Dylan next. And the chat's already gotten toxic. Y'all can't handle yourselves, can y'all, man? Yeah, I think Amani got to learn how to just have better hands on these blitz pickups. Yeah, Joe Flacco, 9 of 10 for 71 yards. So, fine day for him. All right, we get to see Dylan now.
We went over the Eagles, however, a couple of turnovers. He's going to look to improve on that.
Looked great, except for those 2 turnovers, which is hard to say, but starting to take the win of decision making.
We checked to something.
Those 2 mistakes here in the second.
Pierre Strong spins forward for about 3. So with Gabriel, and then we'll see Shedeur Sanders. The big question is, does this organization feel comfortable with them being 1 snap away?
Yes, the plan all along was going to have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett competing for that number 1 spot. Flacco wins it almost a little bit by default because Kenny Pickett has a long hamstring injury. And the speculation now is, hey, these young guys have looked good enough in the first 2 opportunities that, hey, maybe they can be 1 snap away and make them really the backup quarterback when the season starts.
Gabriel to throw across the middle.
Way to work through it. Way to work through it. I mean, you could just physically see him work through that play there, right? Where you can watch his eyes go through it. Starts left, checks right, comes back to that dig over the middle, finds the passing lane. Jamari Thrash, accurate over the middle. Good throw there by Dylan. Good start to this drive here.
A lot of times you see with veteran quarterbacks.
Gain of 15 gets the ball.
And look, you go back in Dylan's tape at Oklahoma and at Oregon, you can see him doing that. That's something he's always been able to do.
Remains in the game.
All right, they got Jamari Thrash in motion into his stack. They take him out the stack for a run play. Big run play by Pierre Strong. Great blocking up front for that. Pretty much just untouched.
A gain of 8.
Good job here by 86, who's on the chopping block here. Whiteheart had an awful game last week. Better job getting that chip there, opening up that play, and obviously the guards do a great job opening that up. Deuce Staley probably not Deuce, but the running back coach probably not happy with Pierre not staying on his feet there. Got to have better contact balance than that, but that's Pierre Strong, man.
Oh, good run for the offensive line.
Amani Marshall, who's been really impressive as an undrafted rookie. Appalachian State checks into the backfield. Gabriel, pressure, spins,
Can't do that.
rolls left and just wisely throws it away.
Yeah. Once you look, man, all these rookies got to learn. You cannot hit that twirl. This is not the time. Shedeur's learned it. Dylan's learned it. You cannot hit the twirl. When you hit the twirl, you are dead in the NFL.
Throw the ball out of bounds.
No twirl.
Understand
No twirl.
You don't have to win the game on every single throw.
Neither Dillon nor Shador are athletic enough to pull that shit off in the regular season.
Very manageable
No twirling.
situation to be able to pick this up. So good job on the situation as well. Good job by my man over here, Chris.
All right, let's get the third.
Yeah, as well.
Got an orbit motion and first down.
Get close to midfield as the drive continues. So, big picture here, what do you think the Browns are thinking with their two rookies at this point? Obviously, a lot of it depends on the health of Kenny Pickett. He's a guy they loved. It's why they traded for him in the spring. They thought he'd have a legit shot to battle whoever they would bring into that quarterback room. It ended up being Joe Flacco yet again. And it's going to be an interesting mindset for the next 72 hours.
A lot of speculation with Kenny Pickett missing most of training camp. Are they going to be able to keep him around, keep 4 quarterbacks, which is unorthodox? But then you got to make harder decisions.
Good
at some of
run.
the other positions and cut somebody. Maybe
Good run on first down here. Setting yourself up second and what, 3? Second and 4?
At some point in their roster, maybe if there's
Yeah. At least he didn't throw. At least he didn't try to throw a pass out the twirl, right? Like that's the only thing. He got rid of the ball, but don't do the fucking twirl. Okay.
feel great about it.
Yes, I agree. I think he threw the ball out. That was fine. Cool. Just don't do the fucking twirl.
Browns have been steadfast in their
No
analysis
twirl.
of rookies that these are both developmental guys. They have treated it as such.
Good run.
Again,
Much better run here.
first down.
Here, okay?
His explosiveness, by the way.
Yeah, he's seeing the blocking schemes in front of him really, really well. Tevin Jenkins, the right guard, does a great job getting hit.
Yeah, Brown's getting some nice push with the offensive line right now.
Pathway to the lap of the linebacker, but then allowing Pierre Strong to pick his play, pick his hole. He's going right down, and then all of a sudden, boom, he jumps out. As soon as that linebacker comes downhill, picks up that first
I don't
down.
know if you salivate when we're talking about offensive.
Interesting. Tevin Jenkins is playing right guard right now. Well, right guard right
At
now.
this point, though, about
He's been
100
left guard the first 2 games of the preseason.
Let's go.
Easy. Nice little easy completion there.
First down.
Gabriel
Operating the offense pretty well here, man.
doing a great job. Just
Nothing too difficult, just easy, right? Right there, basically an extended handoff. Just give him the ball. Give him the ball, get him the game. Hit your layups.
needs to get not just a catch, but a catchable ball where he can run and make some yards after catch, just like he did there.
All right, got to score now.
Backups in for both sides. The Rams obviously started their backups. Gabriel turns, throws, over.
Got a little excited there. Should have made that throw. He had the time to. I think he got a little bit excited, right? Saw the guy in his face, hopped up, put more on it. Maybe he was anticipating some contact there, throwing off his base. He does that. I was watching him play against Michigan, and then I watched some of his Penn State game, watched some of him play at Oklahoma. That's something, though. When that pressure gets right there on him, he tends to get really happy feet, and he overthrows.
Comes over to the side. Is Kenny Pickett will lead?
I mean, Shador asked Miles if he could escape him, and he told him no. I mean, look, nobody's escaping Miles, but
Kenny Pickett trying to coach him up.
Thank you, Didi. Gabriel trying to
All right,
squeeze
3rd and
into the
10.
trash window. Gets knocked away. And it'll be 3rd long for the Browns. Yeah, Kenny Pickett is about as disappointed as anybody that in late July he pulled up lame. It just was never a true part.
hey, man, Kenny Pickett injuring himself because he wanted to sprint for an 80-yard touchdown in unpadded practice is fucking hilarious. And that taking him out the whole quarterback competition, I've never seen somebody take themselves out of competition doing something that stupid.
3rd and 10 for the Browns. Gabriel across the middle.
Hey, 3rd and long. Converts.
Edward Eels, but
He's done that the last 2 games, pretty high level, converting these 3rd and longs.
it's fine for that 3rd tight end role. If they're
And he takes the stick, curl hook right there.
And with that, the Browns are in the red zone presented by Milkbone. Milkbone bringing more dog in the dog pound.
Great job by Gabriel bouncing back there. 2 misfires at the beginning of that first down series. And
All right, finish the drive now. You got to finish the drive for your Gabriel.
quarterback
Probably going to run here.
on 3rd down, finding the window, delivering a catchable ball.
Marshall makes his way forward to.
I don't think he should have cut there.
So how would you assess the play of the two rookie quarterbacks?
They've both been very impressive, I would say. It has not looked like the moment was too big for them. So many times, we have a billion rookie quarterbacks. You see them in practice, they're doing good stuff. You feel like they're making progress. All of a sudden, they go out there in the game and they lock up because it is a big deal when you're playing in the NFL. I don't care what program you came from. This is a different level of pressure. This is a different level of reading the defense.
2nd and 8.
Both those guys have shown very cool, calm poise when they're back there at quarterback.
Got him.
Looking.
Oh, got to catch it. Gotta catch that.
Who's had an outstanding camp.
Got to catch that.
At about the 5. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 8.
Browns running just short passes.
They're giving Gage a shot to make the team here, but you got to make that kind of a play, right? Little out here. That's accurate. He's giving you a window. You beat your corner. You got to get that ball.
Dylan Gabriel just being decisive on that concept. Just get the ball out of his hands quick. Get it to your playmaker. Unfortunately, that was Gage involved in it. Lets the ball slip right to his fingers.
3rd and 8. Gabriel retreats. Ropes left. He's got some space. He throws.
Oh, gotta catch it. Oh, gotta catch it.
So the Browns have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Let's see here.
Let's get a little bit of pressure there.
Settles.
Pushed into the quarterback, but Dylan Gabriel does a great job recognizing it. Love the decision to throw the ball. That was
Nah, that's not catchable. Just throw it out. Just throw it out of bounds. I mean, I don't mind it if it's low and away. There's a low chance of that being intercepted. So it's not a terrible decision. It's just, it wasn't as catchable as I thought it was on first glance. Yeah. I mean, he could have made the play there, but it's not an obvious he's got to catch that ball, you know? I'm sure Jamari thinks he should have got that one, but all right. Solid drive. I think the one thing with Dylan, though, you want to see him finish these drives in the end zone, and I think he's only finished one of these drives in the end zone. Has looked great getting them to the red zone, right? I think every single drive he's had, except for the fumbled snap, and obviously the pick 6, have ended in points for the Browns. So that's a positive sign. But you want to see him finish in the end zone here. I think, obviously he didn't get helped on that one, right? Gage Larverton has to catch that out. I mean, there's no reason he doesn't catch that. That maybe takes it to a 3rd and 2. You can run the ball on 3rd down, maybe run, something different. It's easier to score that way. So, yeah, he didn't get all the help he needed from his teammates, but still, as much as he's been in the red zone, you want to see him finish in the end zone a little bit more often. I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything unfair about that. Isn't that his first failed passing 3rd down? I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Because he had a couple of 3rd downs where he took a sack. Well, he had a sack on a 3rd down on one. So I don't know if that counts as a failed passing 3rd down. You know what I mean? It should. I don't know if it does because it's not an attempt. But that's the first time he threw the ball on 3rd down and it wasn't completed. I think he saw some good stuff there, right? Working through his progression, throwing the ball out of bounds a couple of times instead of making those turnover mistakes, stuff you want to see there, right? Ultimately, the drive results in points. You want to see him start to finish these drives. But, I can't. I got to look at the tape and make sure that there was an opportunity for him to finish that drive because it might have just been like, hey, nobody was open. Which is the preseason. Like, that does happen. That shit does happen, man.
Traffic Gill and more of everything you need. More local news, super news, traffic, and Power 5 weather. So you're all set for the day ahead.
But that was more of the same of what you saw from him in week 1 that you liked. Well, week 2 that you liked. 15 plays, 70-yard scoring drive.
Real estate provider, the Cleveland Browns. Mixed bag for Dylan Gabriel in his first drive, just 3 of 8.
Chad is saying 89 was open on the last play. We'll see when we look at the tape. Sometimes Chad be saying somebody's open, but they're like on the backside of a play when he's rolling the opposite way, and he's never going to throw across his body like that, right? Like, so we'll see. Gotta look at the tape.
Not a ton of flags here in the first half.
Also, it might be somebody popped open after he rolled out, and that closes up a window. You really got to look at the all 22.
All right, time right now to check in with Aditi Kinkawala, with the man who started the game. And
It's funny that people like the Shador people are like, you're making excuses for Dylan. When I say these same things for Shador, it's not excuses. It's just context. But boy, I say it about Dylan. You guys get your panties in a bunch, get all mad. Oh my God, you're being fair to Dylan Gabriel. Like it's just nonstop crying from people. Like just like admit the dude drove down the field well. You just want him to finish the drive a little bit better. But like I'm gonna be the same. There was a hold there on Sam Kamara. Are they gonna call that shit? They're not gonna call the hold.
you know, to just get.
I mean, that was hands to the face and a hold. I guess it's the preseason, whatever.
I mean, you saw a little bit of
There's no way.
And he made a couple guys miss. And you know, that's what this game's all about: getting into your playmakers' hands and letting them go win the game for you.
We see the way that
Dylan on the phone. Does Reese coach from the booth? I think Reese coaches from the field. I think the quarterback coaches in the booth. So I think he's probably talking to Bill.
There's much of a difference. You know, I think I kind of am who I am, and I'm able to be that. You know, even without that title. But I think as far as the team's concerned, it's always good to have a guy that you can look at and know that he's going to be the guy that's under center for you. I think it's just a good way to give everybody confidence going into the season. Like I said, I'm going to be that same person no matter what. But yeah, it feels good to be able to look at the guys in the eye now, knowing that I'm going to be out there. So,
the conversation surrounding this team, of course, is the makeup of the quarterback. How deep it will actually go. This many years in.
We're going to work to a toolbox here? There we go.
you know, it's funny. I think I probably take for granted what's in that, what that room is all about. I've been part of a QB room for so long. But it's a special place. You know, it's one of the toughest positions to play in sports. So to have a room that you can kind of all go in and feel good about, you know, kind of bounce things off of each other, and also just have good laughs and have good relationships with is important. And I probably do take that for granted a little bit. Listen, we got a good room. You know, we got a lot of guys that like to have fun, and a lot of guys that are learning football. You know, they're young.
We'll play by 42.
They're anxious to learn, and it makes for a good environment. And it keeps me, you know, on my toes, and you know, I'm loving every bit of it.
Keeps you young, too.
Of course, you know, hanging around these guys at least gives me the illusion that I'm still a young guy. So,
Do you think that your children enjoyed this?
I'll be interested to see how much of it they watch. If they're swimming or doing something like that. They enjoy it. I don't know if they're going to tell me that, but they enjoy it. They're enjoying every bit of this. And that, honestly, like them enjoying it the way they are is one of the big reasons why I'm still able to do this and have so much fun with it.
Honestly, I kind of want them to score right now so we can get a 2-minute drill for the offense.
We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Best of luck this
You're allowed to run home and tell your kids you already need to start. But believe you or don't believe you, you're in the week one start.
Sounds like they're going to have to find him at the swimming pool, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to be glued to the TV, apparently.
A couple of big pass plays to their second round pick. Terrence Ferguson had gotten the Rams in the red zone for the first time today. In fact, they hadn't run a play in Cleveland territory until this drive.
Get a stop here, call timeout after if it's not an incomplete.
Looking. He's got space on the left side. Rolls. Completes. That's a nice catch there.
It's out of bounds.
Stoops gets it down close to the goal line, inside the 2.
All right, they're going to run this to 2 minute.
Coverage in the back end, forcing Rams quarterback to have to scramble around because he's got
did that?
good protection, but nobody to go
Yeah,
to.
good job.
With a great toe tap down the sideline. Stoops is able to catch that ball with Tony Brown. Just too much time and coverage for those guys to have to hang on. Got to get some pressure from the defensive line.
Good job by Devontae Casey to submarine Schrader before he can get in for the score. Rams are on the move, down 10-0 at the 2-minute warning.
It's time to start your business. It's time for
How many timeouts the Browns have? 2? So they can't really use one right now.
See why millions of businesses sell with Shopify. Start your free trial today.
Labor Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot. Turn your projects into labors of love.
I'm loving these fall colors.
I love what you did with it. So what are you working on? Shop Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. Now through September 3rd.
Remember, these Reese's Big Cups have a layer of chocolate lava, not lava lava.
That looks delicious.
Don't be lava. Eat new Reese's chocolate lava.
Somebody just did a worm celebration in the Detroit game. Yeah, we'll see what the lanes look like. Would love to get a 2-minute drill here for offense. I don't know if we're going to get the time here unless the Rams pretty much score out at the break. I don't know if we're going to get the time to run it. But love to get it. Yeah, it was a giant hold on Sam Kamara. Ray Rag says, seeing people say nobody will watch starting QB Dylan Gabriel to Browns fans is nuts. We watch 1 in 31. If you think that, yeah, I mean, like, again, this is where it gets real stupid. When people start bringing up jersey sales in a football conversation, or, oh, yeah, y'all not going to be relevant if you don't have this guy. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. Are we going to be good? Like, we can sell the least amount of jerseys in the league. If we're good, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I do not work for the Browns. I'm not in the Browns business management team. I don't give a single fuck about jersey sales or anything like that. If the Browns win games, that's what I care about. And honestly, like, it's bullshit because the Browns could win games with anybody at quarterback and they're going to do good business because the city loves the Browns. Flacco to Fannin look good. Having both tight ends is nice, yeah. So that's got to be people who don't know what they're talking about, just like injecting themselves into this conversation. All right, cool. They scored, so we can get a 2-minute drill in. Let's get a 2-minute drill in. I'm actually okay with that. 2 timeouts, 155. Let's get a 2 drill in.
Rams do a good job. They're faking.
Strong is being evaluated for a concussion. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we know the tail end of the secondary roster is not good, so this is not really anything I'm concerned about.
First points. They're down 10-7.
Let's get a 2-minute. Let's get a 2-minute in there.
And I think we borrow and have a
Yeah, I don't really care about a lot of these corners at the back end. They're not going to make the team more than likely. Yeah, I don't really care for media exposure. I mean, the Browns are an NFL team. People are gonna watch. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is not college football. Yeah. Every NFL team's a bigger deal than most players coming out of college football. Very rarely is a player coming out a bigger deal than the team. And that's going to continue to be the thing. NFL doesn't become the strongest league in the world because its teams aren't popular. Blake Whiteheart going to the locker room. Yeah, the Browns gonna have to get thrifty in corner. They're gonna have to make some moves here. Now, there's some guys who didn't play, obviously. No Denzel Ward, no Greg Newsome. But man, like you get down to corner 3, 4, or 5, it's ugly, man. It's ugly. Some people are calling it mid. I think mid's serviceable, right? If you're mid, you're perfectly serviceable. You're just not very exciting. It's not mid back there. It's ass, okay? Like that secondary outside of those two players, I mean, it's ass. It's not good. It's trash. It's Reggie. It's Shake. We got Shake back there. All right, 2 minute here. Let's see what DG can do with it.
Ball's going to be taken. It's a wobbly one. Carter's going to pick it up at the 5. Doesn't even make it to the 15 before he gets wrapped up.
He was down.
I'd like to take a moment to welcome our broadcast affiliates today, presented by Ken Gately Kia.
Oh, we got this game going in Honolulu. Honolulu. How you doing? D-line looked nasty, and Harden and Graham looked good. I would say Graham looked good. I don't know how Miles Harden has looked. I'm not going to act like I can make a good rating on that.
Pancakes enjoying their boy, Dylan Gabriel, out here in the 2 minute.
Browns with a couple of timeouts.
All right, is he going to hit that dig?
Into the game in the backfield.
I don't know the play call.
Gabriel to throw. Looks. Throws,
There we go.
completes.
Get on the ball. Get on the ball. Get on the ball. I heard they moved Needham to corner. Yeah, they needed to do that. Now, I don't think we saw Needham today.
For a concussion right now.
All right, thank you so much. Browns have had to deal with their share of injuries all preseason.
There we go.
Connection to Deontay Johnson.
Good. Let's keep going. North.
Of the roster, today's player to watch.
127. We're making good progress here. 2 timeouts.
Browns game day experience. It's the undrafted.
So far, so good.
South Carolina Gage Larvadan. It's been great this camp.
Gage has had a great camp, trying to find a spot on the roster for him.
All right, we're inching towards field goal range. We don't really got to rush it to get a chunk play here now.
These guys, he's done such a great job. He almost have to find a spot.
Gabriel throws.
That's off. That's off. All right.
Incomplete. He was looking for Larvadan.
So Gabriel going back to that sideline with a quick out being run by Gage Larvadan. You got to be careful.
Let's work middle here. Let's work middle. They're giving you middle here.
Those cornerbacks, they're on defense, so they're not as smart as us offensive guys, but even those guys every now and then they can figure things out and have an opportunity to maybe jump the play and make a game-changing play for the Rams in 2 minutes.
Whistles. And a timeout by the Rams.
Okay. Let me take it.
It'll be 30 seconds.
You take that.
We expect to see Dylan Gabriel play into the second half, and then Shedeur Sanders will make his home debut, and that is going to be very interesting because Shedeur Sanders, boy, he has had a ton of fans and groundswell of support ever since really his days at Jackson State. It followed him to Colorado and then through the draft process. It was a wild roller coaster of emotions. I gotta say, this kid has handled himself extremely well since he has come to Cleveland.
He has handled himself really well. What a tough situation, thinking that you're going to be one of the top picks in the draft and then sliding all the way to the 5th round. I think even people that didn't love him coming out didn't expect that to happen, but he's handled.
All right, 2nd and 10. Browns around the 50.
Gabriel doing it, saying all the right
We got 2 timeouts. This is a blitzer coming. There we go. Work the middle. And work the middle. Let's move. On the ball. We don't have to rush. We got 35. All right, you got 20 to look at it. There you go. Take it. There it is. Good eyes there. Gave you the soft spot. Take it. First down. Let's move. Let's move.
Decisions
Let's move. We're in scoring range. Let's move. All right.
right now, and
10 more yards. We got to start being careful.
where it looks like the guy you're looking at might be playing man coverage.
Are they
Fit it in,
on the whistle?
fall off of the outside corner and make a jump on those routes.
It's another quarter look here.
Gabriel first and 10.
Yeah.
Sit down.
All right, timeout.
Williams gets it
Timeout.
to 30, and the Browns utilize their second timeout.
There we go.
So Gabriel,
There we go. That's good.
You can't keep picking apart with the quick outs and throwing it to his running back.
There you go. They got on those quick outs. All right, work the middle.
Well, everybody's smarter when they listen to you.
Well, I don't know about that, but certainly in that moment, he was using this as a big brain.
So when they go over that in film, is that something where they say, hey,
No, that was right there, right? I don't think he got a clean throw off on that. It did get out the handle a little wobbly, but it went right where it was supposed to Jamari Thrash. I mean, he popped open. They left that zone void. There was a ton of space there that even if the throw wasn't perfect, which it wasn't, it was going to be able to complete there. So good stuff. No, that's Bill Musgrave on the sideline. I don't know who he's on the phone with. I guess they're trying him up in the booth right now.
Look and see what their tendencies are throughout that drive. And then all of a sudden, the guys up in the box are going to say, hey, let's run this coverage because that can take advantage of what the quarterback is doing and what he's looking for with his first read. And so just be.
All right, let's be careful here.
Something you're learning as a rookie.
Gabriel, a ton of experience in FBS records, 63 starts across 3 different schools. Gabriel throws.
There you go. There you go. Get out of bounds. Get a new set here. 36. We got one timeout.
Preseason games.
Canella's done a really nice job there. You got Gage Larvin as the wide receiver out wide there. Of course, they call him the wide receiver. And just throwing it.
Hey, we got to get out this huddle faster. We got to get out the huddle faster.
When I said it, I realized I was
15 on the clock right now. We got to get out faster. We're not set. We're set at 10. We can look for like 3 seconds now. Got a bad motion. Execution on that was awful. Awful. Play call took too long to get in. Gage took way too long to get to that spot. The ball wasn't accurate. Not what you want there. Not what you want there. Look, that's the ball. Yeah, the ball wobbed out, right? Larvinen's not where he's supposed to be. And it's not an accurate throw, even if Larvinen's in the spot that he needs to be in. So just bad execution there.
But when it gets tipped, it leaves your receiver.
That's what happens when you get out the huddle late.
2nd and 10.
It's set.
Brown still with one more timeout to go. They're going to set up a screen. He's got
There we go. All right. Call timeout. I don't think they want to call the timeout. They got to call it.
Swallowed up by the Rams defense.
It's Zach Sinters out there leading the parade, and it looked like he didn't really know if he should block the call.
Yeah, it was bad execution from top down there. All right, 3rd and 7. You can't work middle anymore. I mean, like maybe you can. You get like 13 seconds if you spike it after the first down. You're in a tough spot here. I think it's going to have to be like a corner, try to get to the end zone in the corner route, or just take the field goal, right? Touchdown or nothing. No check down.
DJ screen class. Screen blocking 101.
You ain't got that much time here. Maybe you could work something over middle, spike it real quick, but we'll see. They're going to be in high. They're going to give you it.
Burn their final.
Yeah, they're going to give you it. They're in quarter right now. They're going to give you middle open. Q, I'd spark a joint and that Browns topic with you. Q, I'd spark a joint and chat Browns topic with you. Are you saying you smoke weed and talk Browns with me? I appreciate that. That's a sacred place. You know what I mean? I'm glad to be a part of your blunt rotation. And if you have chosen to add me to your blunt rotation, that's honorable. You know what I mean? I accept that with the most humble grace. Hey, you can spike it, but dog, you're gonna have like 7. You're gonna have like 7 on the clock, man. Like, is it worth it?
Gabriel 7 of 9 for 67 yards on this drive.
Just don't take a sack.
Gabriel looks left, throws left.
He's out of bounds. That's exactly. I mean, what did I just say there? Like, you got to take the corner. All right, good job. Great execution.
Gabriel just layering that throw.
Good layered throw.
The defense
That's nice.
getting it down before the receiver gets hit right at the
That's just big A anticipation.
speed.
That's throwing to a spot. He beat him to the spot.
Inside the 5.
Hey, good job by Jamari being on time with his route, because if he's late, that's intercepted.
Ball at the 3. Williams.
All right, let's do something quick here.
Gates Warren back in the game. Gabriel looks, throws.
There we go. Great 2-minute, executed to perfection. One bad moment there on the late play call one. I bitched about it. That was one bad moment there, but didn't turn into a negative play. Didn't take a sack, positive yards, scored in what, a minute and something. Great execution there, and just take the easy candy, right? It's open, just take it. No need to overthink it, right? He's open, just throw him the ball. Move on with the game. Great execution there by Dylan. And that's pretty good 2 drives from him, man. I don't see how you can I don't see how people can paint that as negative. We'll find out, because last week people painted it as like the worst thing ever. But yeah, that's a pretty good. Damn, Dustin, what the fuck was that? All right, Dustin. I'm over it. Jay Smooth, solid drive by DG. Not gonna lie, throwing some dots. Love it. Yeah, he's executing the offense well. He's executing the offense well. Good job by DG there.
You don't have to be in a rush. You don't have to be panicked. You can take what the defense gives you. You've got plenty of time to get down the field and give yourself an opportunity to score a touchdown, just like they did right there. So making a lot of nice, easy throws. The guys have open, distributing the football to multiple players, finding little windows as the coverage is getting changed from one play to the next. Really nice guy.
Got another super chat. I'm calling him DG3D because he is money on third down. I call him the Honolulu HK because he's a little small, compact pistol. And he's from Honolulu.
This year he tweeted out, "I caught a TD from Mr. Joe Flacco, so life is complete." Not quite. You get to score a touchdown like that in the preseason, whether it's from Joe Flacco or a fellow rookie at Gabriel, it doesn't matter, man.
You love seeing those rookies show.
Is it time for Hopkins to go? Hey, man, I think so, but that's not my decision.
I still get jealous of what these guys get to do out here, play in front of a huge crowd. Maybe not huge today, but a normal situation. But it's just such an honor to be able to go wear the orange and brown, the NFL.
All right, I'm going to use the bathroom. We're going to talk about the first half in just a second here.
To see that.
Actually, let's talk about the first half now, then I'll use the bathroom. All right, so first half, we got to see Dylan Gabriel. We got to see Joe Flacco. Again, I mentioned this earlier. And you know what? I'm actually going to cut this into a video. So far in this game, and I'm recording these as I go on, so, I'll have more context by the end of the video. But I want to record a segment for each quarterback that's gone out there, talk about what we saw from the offense, what we were looking for. So Joe Flacco, right, was somebody I was not really expecting to see a ton from in the preseason. I don't really care how he looks in these games, if I'm being honest, because I know what Joe Flacco looks like, right? We've all seen good Joe Flacco games in this offense with this personnel for the most part. We've all seen bad Joe Flacco games with this offense, with this personnel. We know what the good stuff's going to be. We know what the bad stuff's going to be. You can fool yourself into thinking, oh, no, the bad stuff's not going to exist. But the bad stuff is going to exist with Joe. The good stuff's going to be there. And I think you saw the good and the bad stuff with Joe Flacco while he was out there. Really nothing surprising. He looks like Joe Flacco. I wasn't going to overreact either way. If he looked amazing, okay. If he looked bad, yeah, I know what Joe Flacco is most of the time, right? So quarterback play-wise, I wasn't really tripping on Joe, but I think he went 7 of 8, got a touchdown on a short field, went 3 and out the first drive. It was a fine outing from Joe Flacco, right? Wasn't overly encouraging, wasn't anything that makes me think the sky's about to fall on the guy. Just a perfectly serviceable start from Joe. You did get to see some stuff from Harold Fainin. I thought Harold Fainin showed you some good stuff. Missed a block on a run play, came back, won on a post route, scored a touchdown on it. You got to see the connection between Joe Flacco and David Njoku again. Thought the first team offensive line looked pretty solid, especially in run blocking. Now, Joe Bitonio wasn't out there because he's on that list of players who never have to play in the preseason again. But Joe Bitonio wasn't out there. They had Zach Center. He held his ground fine. Halfway through the first drive, I think Ethan Posick went down. Luke Whippler stepped in. I think he held up fine. I don't know if he was the one that gave up the sack on Joe Flacco. We'll have to look at the tape there, but for the most part, I thought he was fine. And I thought the run blocking was pretty strong here from the Cleveland Browns. It's been strong throughout training camp. It's been strong throughout the preseason games. I feel really good about this scheme being able to repump some life into a run game. Speaking of the run game, we got to see more of an extended look from Dylan Sampson during the first portion of this game. I was very encouraged by Dylan Sampson. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I'm very concerned about the idea that because Quinshawn's down, we're probably going to be looking, if the roster stays the way it is, of giving this guy 150, 170 carries his first year in the league when he's 21 years old. Super young. He's not the biggest body. I just have my concerns about that being able to hold up over the course of an AFC North NFL season, given how physical this division is on a consistent basis. But we'll see what happens with that, right? The news right now with is we don't know what's going on with Quinshon. They've been looking for a running back. Brian Robinson was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. I thought that was a player that the Browns should have some interest in. They didn't end up grabbing him. We'll see what happens. Maybe they get like an Aldrich Estime or somebody like that. But, I'm concerned about that. But that being said, I thought Dylan Sampson had some really good moments out there, right? Had the play where he got the reception, broke a tackle, looked really nice out there, had a couple of decent runs. I don't know if we can survive with this combo of him and Jerome Ford as our feature backs, but if the offensive line is good enough, then I guess we'll be able to get away with it for the most part until Quinshon Judkins returns to the team, and we'll see how fast he gets out there. We saw Isaiah Bond out there. We really didn't get to see Isaiah Bond in action with the first team. We'll see if that happens with the second team and third team. Overall, offensively, it was a fine outing. I don't think I'm doing backflips about the offense, but I feel reasonably confident that this offense is going to be not god-awful like they were last year. And unfortunately for this team, coming off a 3-win season, that's the bar. Now, the defense on the other end, and keep in mind, we didn't see like Denzel or Greg Newsome or Myles Garrett, right? Like those guys did not play. So there were some very key starters that did not play in this game for this defense, especially in the secondary. But boy, that front seven, even without Myles Garrett, dominant. And look, they were going up against the Rams, like fourth, third team. It's not like they were getting quality work in. It's not like this is like going up against the Eagles' first team in joint practice. But we've seen this unit go up against the Eagles' first team in joint practice and dominate. So seeing this continue on a much weaker opponent is just a continuance of a trend that we've seen. Mason Graham was getting to the quarterback. Isaiah McGuire was getting to the quarterback. He got a penalty on a sack because of a stupid finger gun penalty, which who is asking for that, NFL? Who's asking for finger gun penalties? I don't know anybody of any background that's like, yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to punish guys for doing finger guns in NFL games. But that aside, that silliness aside, you saw everything you needed to see from this front seven. Devin Bush, I don't know what his status is going to be to start the season, but it looks like the Browns might have really uncovered a gem with him. He was a former draft bust of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has turned out to be pretty solid for the Cleveland Browns last year, and it looks like he's going to do it again. He was all over the field making plays for the Browns. Carson Schlesinger all over the field making plays for the Browns. We saw Aiden Huntington with the first team offense, actually. He was a fullback for them, and then we saw Aiden Huntington have a really good play, in my opinion, where he just shot up an alley on a kick return, forced the returner opposite the wrong side of the field, and then that returner got stuffed back at the 10. So Aiden Huntington getting some work here with the first team offense as a fullback. You know, he's a good pass rusher, and then also he could play special teams. If he could be one of these like fun slash players, like our version of a Pat Ricard or something like that, I'm all for it. So pretty excited with what you've seen from the first team defense. They look like they're going to be solid, and we ain't even see them plug in the biggest part, right? Denzel Ward, going to make a huge difference on how that secondary looks. So is Greg Newsome. But Myles Garrett, big difference maker, that Myles Garrett. He's not going to play in the preseason, obviously, but I imagine if Myles was out there, we would have been even more thrilled with what we've seen out the first team. Let me get some water. So that was the first team unit. Then we got to look at the second team unit. Let's start with the offense. I thought Dillon Gabriel in the first half of this game, and we still got more that I'm going to break down from Dillon to talk about. I thought he looked really solid in the first half, right? He operated those two drives really effectively, had the one drive stall out at the 10, didn't finish it with the touchdown. Part of that was Gage Larvin dropped the ball that was clearly in his hands. So, you know, he didn't finish the drive with the touchdown there, but you got points. 2-minute drill, I thought he executed that outside of like one little moment to perfection. I thought that he got the play call in late, got to the motion late. The motion was sloppy from Gage Larvin. The route was shitty, and then the ball was shitty from Dillon Gabriel. It could have been turned over. But outside that one play where I thought the execution was poor from the top down, right? Play call in late, that's the coaching staff. Personnel shifts in late, that's the coaching staff. The ball was late. The ball was bad. That's the quarterback, and the route was terrible, and the motion was terrible. That's on Gage. So outside that one play, which did not result in anything negative, I thought he executed that 2-minute drill pretty much to perfection, scored a touchdown on it. That's really good, and a continuation of what you want to see out of Dillon, which is somebody who can handle these kind of responsibilities, run the offense at a high enough level to where you feel confident with him being the backup. And I think so far in the first half, you know, you feel a lot better about that than maybe you did after last week where he made those two big mistakes in his first couple of drives. We'll see how he finishes out his time here, and I will come back to this video and update it to talk about that. But so far, so good from Dillon Gabriel. Amani Marshall, I thought, had some nice moments in the first half. We'll see what he does in the second half as I continue to record this. And defensively, once they take the starters out, we're down to the backup secondary. There's really not much to engage with. But that's my thoughts so far on the first half of this game. I'll check back in on this video. It'll be instantaneous if you're watching this after the stream on what's going to happen in the second half. Did I miss any super chats while I was recording that? Somebody called him Hawaii 5'9". Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, I'm tweeting that out. I'm giving credit. Who said that? Who said that? Who called that man Hawaii 5'9"? That's hilarious, bro. That is a great one. Whoever got that golden sticker for that guy in chat, somebody gift that guy a fucking membership. That's great.
Schedule plays, that's all great. What we saw that was dealing with some deficiencies and what was fuzzies, like I talked about, making Kevin Stefanski and these guys feel comfortable. This stuff is all awesome. And I want Shooter to play excellent football.
That's great.
A little bit and be more precise.
It was Adams.
There's more on Shooter. One, because the name, the hype.
It was Adams.
He was drafted.
Hawaii 5'9" is crazy. Harold Fainin is the greatest tight end of all time.
Gabriel did at the end of the half to show that he can do those types of things regardless of who's in the ball game, that he understands the situation like we saw all through college at Colorado and Jackson State. The bigger the moment,
Hawaii 5'9" is nuts, bro.
You need that opportunity. Yeah. And things need to fall into place. And maybe they do. If they do,
Oh shit.
Gabriel just stands
Oh
up.
shit. I gotta screenshot that one. Who put that shit in there? Oh, he said Hawaii 5'9" was cooking.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is Kenny Gabriel's haven't seen him in the preseason. Right.
Oh, I gotta take a piss, dog.
But I think that means
I waited too long. Shador getting the second half.
I definitely know. They play a lot of roles. That's not that's a bad kick that's shy of the 20-yard line, and so it's going to be a problem for the Rams.
Gonna get good field position there for Shador.
And here comes Shador Sanders for the first time in Cleveland. Loved by many. It has been a
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pee until after this drive.
did not play last week. The win over the Eagles because of an oblique injury, but
All right, Shador, let's cook. Let's cook. Will Shador better not stink it up? Given how well DG played, nice little dump off, a little out of structure. Again, the thing that I want to see from Shador, like if he makes a bunch of off schedule, tight window plays against the third, fourth team of the Rams, that's not really what I'm looking to see from him. What I'm looking to see from Shador Sanders is working within the structure of the offense and just making his life easier at the quarterback position by taking what's there. He has to be able to play easy mode here, right? I hope Sanders becomes a serviceable QB1. If he does not, if he does, we potentially have 2 lottery picks next year and we can continue to bulk with this team. Yeah. I mean, look, the best case scenario is that one of these rookies hits and we don't even have to spend those top picks on quarterback. We can just spend it on doing the Eagles thing where we could just build this thing around the quarterback. At 35 here for Shador. This is a moment where Dylan has shined.
National fans all over the place. It can become a distraction if you allow it, but he's just done a great job showing.
You want to see the same level of execution here.
I'm just trying to help the team. And he's really been everything the Browns have wanted.
There's nothing really there. He's going to have to run for it.
It's going to run, and he will not get to the first down. Picks up maybe a yard, and it'll be 3 and out for the Browns on their opening drive of the second half.
All right. 3 and out on the first drive there. I don't think anything was there in structure. We'll see.
The first play of the drive, he does a nice job picking up some yards.
All right. I'm gonna pee now. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to use the restroom. But the whole first half, giving you guys content. All right, defense. Want to see? I'm watching Aiden Huntington if he's out there. I don't know. He's gonna make the team, so he might not be out there. Andrew Berry in the booth. Andrew Berry in the booth. I'm telling Q, Shador haters were being mean. I know the Shador haters were being mean. What does that mean? Look, I have no doubt that there are assholes on both sides of this argument. I've experienced them because the Dylan people were just like furious at me for like a whole month because I wouldn't acknowledge that he was 5'11" instead of like 5 foot. That 5 foot, like they were arguing with me for like a whole month because I said 5'11" is like really short. And they're like, well, PJ Walker's shorter than him. It's like, that's not a good point. So I have no doubt that the Dylan Gabriel stands, if that exists, or the people who have taken up Dylan Gabriel to oppose Shador are assholes, right? Like, there's definitely some assholes in that conversation. There's absolutely assholes on the pro Shador side of this conversation. And here's what I think. I just want to fucking talk about football. And sometimes both of these people don't be talking about football. They be arguing about everything else but football. I'm just here to talk about football. That's what this channel does. We talk about football. Anything that's not football, you know, I'm not really going to talk about it on this channel.
I think probably the
That Aiden?
for anyone who is coming out to the training camp practices is our approach, I think we call two-style. So essentially during 7-on-7 and some team periods, we'll run two concurrent offensive groups. So essentially, you have like almost like a split squad where you have the two young kids on one field, you have the veterans on the other, and you run the same period concurrently, which allows all the players to get necessary.
It's almost a little bit like how colleges run their practice because they've got 100+ guys. They got to have two practices basically going on at the same time to get the reps that they need.
How do you determine? whether
Good
or not
Lord,
you're
63 is
comfortable
getting
with one of
up.
those guys or both of them being one snap away?
Yeah, so first of all, we have a lot of both Dylan and Shador, and both of those guys have had an excellent preseason to date. And a big part of this, like we measure and track everything in practice, every throw, every decision, footwork, you name it, and we talk about the tangible progress that we're seeing on a weekly basis. Now, nothing is a substitute for competitive game situations, whether it's in the preseason and then certainly the regular season. So with any rookie player, not just quarterbacks, there's a little bit of a leap of faith, but we've been able to see their progress in real time, which gives us confidence with both guys.
You always want to see your great players that are in
Oof.
practice.
Tony Brown got cooked.
As a rookie, that's always a question. Are they the same guy in practice? As we're going to see on game day. So for those two quarterbacks specifically, after tracking and watching them practice, how have you seen that carry over to how they play on game day?
Yeah, Joe, you hit the nail on the head. I call it sometimes
Tony Fields and Tony, Tony, something going on.
Just how they actually perform. And it's been great to see Dylan and Shador perform under the lights. Those guys, they prepare their tails off. And I think the cooler part is in these uncontrolled settings in games, you see the playmaking come out. Joe, there's always a quick whistle in practice for the quarterbacks that can't get hit. And in these settings, it's real football, and to see them be able to produce out of structure, that's probably been the most encouraging.
Good job by Cam Thomas. Got to finish the play. Is that Huntington that finished it for him? Big man, 66.
Good job by Cam Thomas.
66 leaps off the screen in this unit with these guys. He leaps off the screen. Look how quick he is. The motor.
Everybody say, can't beat more quarterbacks. So how do you wrestle with that over the next 72 hours?
Honestly, it's not much of a decision for us. All four guys have done what we've asked. Obviously, three of them have dealt with injuries throughout their time here. But the reality of it is, 53-man roster.
And a sack.
You get a little excited, Andrew Barry. That's right, Cam Thomas.
I think they want to roster Cam, man.
Really developmental active spots. Plus, post-COVID, the roster was just so much more flexible that you can build your 48 game day roster.
Greg with 2 G's, K, I think he brought up something in chat that I think is a very valid point. He says, DG has just seen more meaningful football than Shador Sanders. He should look better at this point of his career. I think that's a fair and valid point to make, right? Shador is 2 years younger than Dylan, I believe. Dylan has played with 6 seasons of FBS college football at a high level versus Shador, who's only played 2 seasons of it, right? 2 years at Jackson, 2 years in the FBS. So, Dylan looks more prepared. Dylan looks more ready to go right now. I think the more upside play is on Shador Sanders. But, I think Dylan looks more prepared, more ready to go right now. And that's kind of what you expected with Dylan Gabriel coming into this, is that, hey, if he could hold up physically in the league, which, so far throughout the preseason, he's done a good job of being able to look like he has NFL arm talent, NFL ability to find passing lanes, all that stuff, then, he's going to be damn, Gage just got smacked. But he's going to be the guy who's, more game ready week 1. Shador is the more upside. He's the guy who might be able to be a real answer over time if you develop him correctly. But, there's some stuff that he has to get to be game day ready, and he's not there yet in the NFL. Doesn't mean he doesn't have potential. Doesn't mean one sucks and the other one's great, or the other one sucks and one's great. There's ways to like both guys in this competition because they play on the same fucking team, and I think he highlights a great way of looking at it, right?
His growth was spring on the mental side of things, having command of the offense. Has been real impressive. And then the second part is just,
why does Shador have more upside? I think his natural playmaking ability.
His oblique injury is really no easy thing, especially for a thrower. And he just loves playing. He loves playing.
Will Shador get one of these developmental slots Andrew Barry is speaking of? Yeah, I think so. If they keep 4 quarterbacks, one of them's going to be developmental.
Yeah, so there's not much that that I have an update on in terms of Q. We'll take that day to day and manage the situation.
2nd and 10. After Marshall had the drop, he'll get it, foot in his belly, and get maybe a yard or two.
3rd and long here for Shador.
Something that I'd say
How did you like Alex Wright? I think he might be a problem if he can stay healthy. He was pretty good out there.
Yeah, part of it is we have gotten to know Isaiah as a player person of the past calendar year, and obviously done an enormous amount of work on his legal situation. That's something that never take lightly. Players, involved in a situation or allegedly involved in a situation like that. And really, we got really comfortable doing our due diligence.
All right, good pocket here.
Felt comfortable with the player just based on this time with Tommy.
Yeah, he's got to work in structure more. There had to be something there. He had a lot of time. He's gotta get it going. He's starting slow.
Pocket overshot Travion Williams down the right side. There are multiple flags down, perhaps.
Been watching you with the stream. Still my favorite way to enjoy the Browns games. Appreciate that. Side note, I remember Cole. Hold on, let me pull it up right here. It just went away off the screen. I was reading it off the screen. Cole calling Huntington being good months ago. Big shout out to the Cornico. Yeah, Cole got that one.
But those are the breaks sometimes. Still alive, and we're pretty low on the pecking order, but they really cares about what we have to say about something or what we think.
Yeah, Joe, I always think about it as like, I think the line's the only position.
Yeah, I know they're telling him just work in structure, right? Work the structure of the play, right? Yeah, I mean, like, it's not good for Shador right now that I think 3 of his 5 dropbacks he's rolled out. And again, the offensive line is not great right now, but it's not like he's going up against the starting Rams defense. He's going up, like, he's got scrubs on the offensive line. He's got scrubs at wide receiver, but he's going up against scrubs on the defensive side of the ball too, right? So, it's not really that much of an excuse, but you just got to work it in structure. I think that's really what they want to see out of him. Is just work the offense in structure. It's nice to make those plays, but work the offense in structure. How long of a leash will Hopkins have this year? Love watching. I don't think he should have a leash at all, dog. If he starts missing field goals, you watched it all last season, you should be done. But I don't think they have a leash on him, if I'm being honest. I think they're just okay with him. I think they trust what they saw in 2020. And they're just going to take that. Now, look, Shador's starting slow here. He started slow in the first preseason game, right? So his first 2 drives weren't successful here. His first 2 drives in his first preseason game weren't successful. But as the game went on, he found a rhythm. He got better and better. So, expect to see the same thing or give him at least that opportunity. I want to just dunk on him because he's had 2 3 and outs. Like, let's let the flow of the game happen, right? It's a whole half year of football he gets to play. So don't be so quick to just shit on him either, right? And I think that's also the thing. Some people are just so quick to dunk on Shador because other people are too easy to give him praise, and it's just creating this vortex of just shitty opinions. Small Rizzle says, no way they're going to say the Browns are just setting up Shador because he's not looking great right now, and Gabriel looked decent. I mean, look, people who want to make excuses are going to make excuses, right? Like, you're not going to stop people who are just diehard bought in to making excuses to make excuses. But also, like, let's give it more than 2 drives. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little early to say he's failing right now. Yeah, somebody said it in chat. The key word is pace. Dylan works the offense at a better pace right now. I think that part's clear. I talked about that when we were looking at footage way back. Somebody, Mr. Miami, this is wild. They don't give Shador any good players and call that bull crap. They gave Dylan a better situation. I mean, you're the 3rd quarterback to go into the preseason. This is what it fucking looks like if you're the 3rd quarterback to go into the preseason. This is not abnormal. This is what it is for the 3rd string quarterback in a preseason game. you still got to execute if you're out there, right? And he might execute. He just had a couple of bad drives. Let's not go into full-blown panic mode yet. Let's see how he finishes the game. You know, he might finish the game with 2 touchdowns again. You know, it's really early. But look, I mean, the Rams guy's been out there with third stringers all game, going up against Browns first teamers, and he's been able to execute. So that's not a great excuse here. You're out there with scrubs, but you can't name me one of the Rams players right now that he's going up against defense. So I'm not saying that this is like, oh, Shedeur has no excuse. I'm just saying, like, you know, he can execute on these guys as well as he's not executing on these guys. It's not inhibiting. It's what being the third quarterback in a preseason game comes with. You know, that's part of the fucking job. Mighty says he is seeing different coverage. No, I think what's happening is he did not practice a ton, right? The oblique strain took him out of joint practice, and you can see it. He's just not trusting. He might be hitting a wall here, right? He's not trusting the offense or the read. He's not playing in the rhythm of the offense. This happened with Dylan Gabriel 2 weeks before the preseason started, where he looked awful. He was hitting a wall. Shedeur might be hitting a similar wall. You know, that doesn't mean he's not going to come out of it looking better. You know, people shat on Dylan while he was hitting that wall. He came out in the preseason, looked pretty good. So, you know, maybe that's what's going on with Shedeur. It's hard to really fully diagnose it without looking at the tape. Just saw my friend my first Kevin Stefanski is intentionally calling the worst place possible for Shedeur tweet. Yeah, bro, I got news for you. Kevin's not calling the fucking plays right now. He might be like on the headset still, but I don't think he's calling the plays right now. This is either the quarterback coach or the OC, you know, handling this responsibility. Second half of the preseason, he's not working this.
Playing it one-on-one against a tackler. So it really puts the offense in a bit of a bind if you have 2 guys that
Yeah, like this is a lot of conversation about 3 passes from Shedeur Sanders, right? Like, let's let the fucking game finish. Wait until all the Sanders. We got to stop calling these people aunties because it feels kind of fucked up at this point. I don't like how some of that energy been geared towards some of these people. Like it feels kind of fucked up. I don't like the auntie thing. Come in and blame Stefanski. Yeah, I mean, some people just don't know better. Like, but let's be real here. We complaining about Sanders fans complaining about Kevin Stefanski. But I'm not going to lie. I've been doing these streams for years. And I know for a fact that some of y'all be complaining about Kevin Stefanski the second the offense look bad, even if it's not Kevin's fault. So are they really doing anything different? It's just they're doing it in a way that annoys you. But y'all be in here complaining about Kevin's offense. He needs to give up the play calling. Like, we've done this shit so many times. Who's hurt? It's just, let's just let the game play out before we have any hot takes, y'all. Let's let the game play out.
with the ball down.
It is so hard to play referee in this fucking Shedeur thing, man. Everybody wants to jump to a conclusion. Yeah, you just got to find comfort in the structure of the offense and just, I would call up a screen for him or something like that. Just get him used to just getting the ball out on time so he can get comfortable. Oh, it's Julian Okwara. Yeah, we do need a third and fourth corner. Somebody wants Coach Prime to coach the team right now. All right, guys. I mean, the play calling here is not really like they're not doing real play calling at this point, right? They're just calling stick certain concepts. Yeah, it's not really like real play calling here.
Good fans are waiting for two older. Defense in the Rams off the field.
That's right. That's right, Chris. It's going to stop, right? Even
Oh, Andrew Berry's still on the
I
call?
like that. That's a former TV. That's right. That's that mentality. I see. Russell remains in the game. It's 1st and 10 for the Rams. Just playing that start. Talking about the Browns secondary. Stoops brought down at the 30.
There you go. All right, 2nd and what? 8.
The secondary, obviously, suffering really.
If Shador plays bad today, I'm ready for Shannon to do his best Skip Bayless style defense of him. It's really crazy that like these are like they're going to be national hot takes about what happens in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter of a preseason game. That's really insane that we're at this point to where people are going to have like super hot takes about it. It's insane to me, man. Like it's really not that big of a deal if he looks bad. It's not that big of a deal if he looks great. You know, you just take it in stride, you
know. But we are looking for more guys to step up.
All right, 3rd and 7. Get off the field here, defense.
That is well done by you, by the way. That was excellent. 3rd and 7.
Oh, good rush.
Please.
Was he not down? Great tackle by 41 to make sure he was short. They're probably going for that.
Good fight, so that's going to bring up 4th and short.
Nice defensive ball by Jim Schwartz running that track corner. I said that.
We got to give AB some credit for the D-line def. Yeah, he's done a great job.
Disrupts the football there. Ball goes to the inside receiver on an outrageous out.
All right, are we getting one of these one of the measurements?
There it is.
Yeah, this is it. It's the Hawkeye version of the measurement system. And just so that you know, measures the ball location relative to the line of game. It's not spot the ball. That's still human. You got a half dozen cameras on one side of the stadium doing this. Doesn't utilize lasers, chips the wall. Here we go. Now they say it should take about 30 seconds to do this whole thing.
This is the most useless implementation of technology. Like, is this really better than just having the chain gang fucking pull the sticks out? Like, is this like a useful technological advancement? You know what I mean? Like, this is not a useful technological advancement. Maybe if it spotted the ball, I would get it. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's telling you if the guy. I thought the chains did a great job. You know, the chains do a great job here. This is tech for tech's sake. Somebody paid too much money to implement this. This doesn't add anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes tech. You call it the Hawk Tour segment. Okay, I'm done. You call it the Hawk Tour system. I'm done, dog. I quit. Chat has lost their mind. All right.
All right, let's see what the Browns short yardage defense has. Let's go.
Now you got it.
Forward, but that's first down.
Yeah, it's first down.
All right, so linebacker wise, Carson Schwarzenegger, first pick of the 2nd round. So people are like, wait, off-ball linebacker, and obviously you needed him. JOK not playing this year. Jordan Hicks retires at the beginning of training camp. What has Carson Schwarzenegger shown you that maybe even you didn't expect when you turned the game?
I mean, Carson, it's like we added a 5-year vet to the room. It's very rare for rookie linebackers to be able to come in and wear the green dot right away. And it's really been seamless with him. He's long, he can run.
Oh, get your hands up. There we go.
Really nice play. Mario James.
Carson, he's got great instincts, and he has
Good job by the secondary.
desire to be great. Work ethic is absolutely outstanding. And we compared that with
Would love it if McMillan could get over there faster.
it's obviously a winning combination.
But great play by the corner.
Took a little bit of a hit this past week. I think Watson was having a great year with a biceps. Reed is digged up as well. He had to sign a couple of guys, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, just to fill out this game.
Good stuff.
Houston also ranks who's been great as an undrafted rookie free agent out of USC. Is that a guy that is being discussed in that room?
Chris, you could not have picked a better segue. We're very pleased. Very, very
This
pleased.
guy's a pro here.
Very pleased with he's in this preseason. It's funny, him, Carson, and Mason, they might as well.
That's my boy James. All right, your boy made a play.
He can run.
3rd and 11. Let's get off the field here.
Playing coverage, even though he's a little undersized, that's not as big a deal in our system. And he's made a lot of plays this offense.
Browns blitz.
Oh, yeah.
Rolls out right, throws incomplete. Good job, KJ Henry.
All right, get off the field. Get off the field. It's a field goal, right?
Philly.
It'll be about a 26, 27, 37, 40-yard field goal here.
Well, your time of possession.
It's to be 40 from the tee.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you use that in contract negotiations?
I wish.
Joe will gladly volunteer to give back some of the cash he's been taking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was doing this for free. They're paying you to do this? That other stuff that I got when I was playing, I already spent it on cattle and wheat, farm, so it's gone.
45. So it's plus 15.
Quick. You want to say goodbye? Or do you want to hang through the kick? We'll give you.
Let's hang through. Look, I only get to do this once a year.
That's true. I'm not trying to take you to say
Chris is trying to get rid of it.
It's not what I'm doing.
I mean, it was soft. It was professional.
Don't make me come over there. Do not make me come over
See, I knew you were a lot stronger than the three of us. You're the only guy.
there. Were you ever the guy in the wing trying to block the kick?
You know what? I was, but fun fact, I was actually the holder in college.
Really?
I was, yeah.
You can't come up and then go back down on the knee. You're down.
I was always.
Did you ever have to throw a pass?
I did. I did. We completed it, but we did not convert.
For -2. So what is your career line at quarterback then? 1 for 1 for -2. 100 rated.
45-yard attempt by Quincy. And
That looks good.
Andrew Barry, it was a pleasure, man.
My pleasure is mine all mine.
Hey, look, he wanted to stay for the kick because he's scouting that kicker. And maybe that's the next kicker for the Cleveland Browns. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe that's why he stayed. Maybe we found that out, you know. They're really selling hard that they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's crazy to keep 4 quarterbacks. I really don't think it's crazy. I think for sure, no doubt, they're going to keep 4 through the first 53 cut. I'm wondering week 1 game day roster, are they going to keep 4 quarterbacks? That's where I'm doubtful. All right, let's see Shador, man. 2, less than good drives from him. He didn't really turn the ball over or anything. Just, kind of bailed on structure a little early, right? Kind of not doing what I thought was impressive from his first start. So, just want to see him get back to that form he was in that first preseason game where he's working within the structure, just taking what's there. It looks like he's not really as confident right now as he was in that first one for whatever reason. So let's just get him more confident. He is working with a unit that I don't think he's worked with a ton, which might be playing into it too. Deshaun is going to be on IR more than likely. Yeah, Deshaun's probably going to be on IR. Not even probably. He's going to be on IR. All right. Oof.
Cleveland, Tiffany Tarpley, Mike Brookbank, meteorologist Trent McGillen for everything you need. More local news, consumer news, traffic, and Power of 5 weather, so we're all set for the day ahead. Joshua Party, 45-yard field goal. It's got Rams back within 6. It's Sanders about to take the field yet again. Heard some interesting stuff from Andrew Berry. Going to be busy for the next week trying to put finishing touches on the 2025 Browns. We'll start this next drive at the 35. So we haven't seen much from the offense under the leadership this time of Shador Sanders. That's going to happen. What do you want to see now?
I'd like to see a long drive with some opportunity for him to show off his stuff, right? He's done a great job getting poised back there, making great decisions on when to stay in the pocket, when to leave in his last start, but just not a lot of opportunities, not great blocking, and then just drives that are slowing. He's not successful in the run game, so keeping them in long situations, receivers not giving him windows to throw to.
Marshall in the backfield behind Sanders. He'll get the rock and go nowhere.
And not getting ahead of the sticks here.
That Rams defense, by the way.
Yeah. Oof.
Shula, grandson of the legendary coach Don Shula, and a former collegiate teammate of Sean McVay at Miami University. Cradle of coaches, my man.
Ohio is just unbelievably loaded with great coaches that have cleared the college football landscape, the NFL landscape. There's really good football here, all the way to high school. Friday Night Lights is something I'm very jealous of as a guy who's living in Wisconsin.
Sanders dumps it down to Marshall for a short game.
All right, 3rd and long here.
We saw Shador a couple of weeks ago in his NFL opener at Carolina. Actually went against the first string defense his first couple of drives. Really lit it up after that. Poised, ball placement was really, for the most part, outstanding. And let's remember, he is an uber accurate passer.
Yeah, we've seen that accuracy today. Not a lot of places to go with the football. That last throw probably could have thrown an intermediate route, a couple more yards, but everything has been quick with his decision making and accurate with the throw.
Rams blitz it.
Got to get rid of it.
Sets the ball, sprint, bounce it around. The Browns, it appears they fall on it.
Ugh. That's rough.
They take the edge to jar the ball loose from Sanders. And it'll be another 3 and out.
Maybe the Browns left tackle there.
I don't know. Is that a forward pass?
Shador Sanders, one thing he needs to learn is in those situations, you got those 3rd longs, you're taking a deep drop.
Nah, it's a fumble.
Deep down the field, you want to be able to step up because those tackles got problems. Those speed rushers coming around the edge. So he hung a little bit deep in the pocket there. Not saying it still wouldn't have been a sack, but that's something that he's got to learn on those 3rd long plays to be able to step up and
Loses the ball inside the pocket.
Of course, Aiden Huntington's first man there. Great job there.
We will pause now for a word from Huntington Bank.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Welcome to Huntington, a bank that believes we should all get more from money. Like a path to turn all those late nights into beach days, sunscreen Noel, and imagining you've got enough for the go without wiping out the groceries. In anything to make life easier for all you small business owners. We see you, Dad. Banking isn't just checking and saving. It's about getting more for money. Huntington Bank.
Browns offense stalled here in the second half, but another great punt by Corey Bajorquez. As the Rams starting this next drive inside their own 5 at about the 3-yard line.
second time for Jorquez hitting it back with a booming punt inside the 5-yard line. What a weapon this guy is for the Browns.
Yeah, he has been fantastic now in his 4th season here in Cleveland. He has 5 punts over 70 yards in the last 3 seasons. Nobody else in the league has more than 2.
As a former punter myself, I feel like a kindred spirit to my punters, really good in college. Underappreciated. But you're doing a punter? Oh, yeah. Kenny the Bush, the great Kenny the Bush, the leg we call him. Goes against the kicker.
All right. Let's get some pressure here.
Who else was your third roommate? Jimmy the Nose?
Actually, the backup punter.
Second and 5.
Very well with the special teams guys.
This is breaking news with Joe Thomas in a group with two.
They had a snapper.
So a snapper and 2 punters. The good news is we have an entire fourth quarter to break down who else was on your dormitory hallway in Madison. It's on 16-10.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop Labor Day savings on LG appliances. Get appliances that last with helpful features you can rely on for years and years to come. Now at the Home Depot.
Guys, set up something real quick. Let me pause here. So yeah, Shedeur, first couple of drives, it has not been his best day. He looks a little like off, if I'm being honest. Like his body language seems down. He's late. He's not really seeing the field well. I get the offensive line isn't great and ahead of him, but this just doesn't seem like the same guy we saw in week 1. Teammates and coaches rallying around Shedeur. Yeah, you can tell it in his body language. He doesn't look as confident as he should, you know? Like he just doesn't feel confident right now. That's not what you expect out of him, you know? Yeah. You know, just would like to see a little bit more confident out there. He doesn't look the most confident right now. Yeah.
Not really getting an opportunity to show his stuff like playing against Carolina a couple weeks ago.
I think the best thing about the third quarter outside of the interview with Andrew Berry was the fact that with long snappers, punters.
Mic check. False start. They're moving backwards.
You know, overall, I think it's been an outstanding camp. You mentioned the physicality, and that has been an emotion.
To me, it looks like he hates playing with bums. I'm sorry. That's not a valid excuse for a quarterback, though, right? Like, hey, it's a fucking preseason, brother. Like, you got to play with who's out there. That's a horrible excuse. If that's what it is, then that's horrible. Like, that's worse. I don't know if you're trying to throw it out there as an excuse, but dog, if that's the excuse, then that's fucking loser behavior right there. I don't think he's a loser, so I'm going to assume that that's not Shedeur's excuse for not playing well, and I'm pretty sure Shedeur wouldn't take that excuse. Like, I think he'd be offended by that excuse. So no, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Like, what?
How you need to run through.
What kind of loser shit is that?
Portion of the game's second nature, which that's something I think you almost have to relearn every time you put the pads back on and start a new season.
All right, get the ball here. You should want to take advantage of any opportunity that you get on the football field. I don't want to hear I ain't got a good enough offensive line, so I'm not going to play good. Like, I knew kids like that. That's nah. That's absolutely not Shedeur's mindset. I don't think that would be it. That would be crazy. To be fair, the run game hasn't been a threat. I mean, there's a lot of things not going right for him, right? But you still got to try to execute a little bit better than what he's doing. Like, I don't think he's really working through the offense. You're seeing some regression in the pocket mechanic. Like, I thought there was a lot of really good stuff in week 1. And right now he's looking like he didn't really carry that over right now. Oh, damn, Gage. Gage be getting smacked out there, bro.
Situation.
Browns franchise? I don't know. They'll win one before I die. I know that.
I'm talking about once Joe Flacco starts. I mean, Jimmy Hassel came out at his preseason press conference and say we have to look at the young guys at some point. And
It's obvious. You know, as players, you really just focus on the here and now. You know, I have no idea. There's no guarantees as a player or even a coach about being around next season, so you can't worry about that. But the people upstairs, those are the guys that need to be aware of what this Shooter Sanders does a great job moving in the pocket.
Lose 3 yards.
He's getting blindside pressure. He had that great awareness of where that was to make.
Just throw it out of bounds. Yeah, at the time.
Make the first blitzer miss.
Right.
Roll out, give his
59 misses. You got time to get that ball out of bounds here, right?
Sanders and Gabriel picked a couple of rounds apart, and it's the first time.
Get it to 31. Let's work within it.
Where multiple quarterbacks
Again, I think what we're seeing here is he's hit a little bit of a wall in his learning. We've seen other quarterbacks hit a wall in their learning. And, you know, just got to let him work through that. He's working through that. I think you got to let him work through that wall.
Sanders.
Got to get rid of that faster.
Keeping the play alive. The fans love it, but it's one of those plays where maybe he's got to roll out.
Boy, this is bad.
Too eager there to have an opportunity to throw the ball down the field. You saw him earlier just hanging a little bit too deep in the pocket, not step.
Yeah, he's got the over to 87. He's got to take it. He's got to take it there. Can't take 3rd and 35.
Step up because he's not feeling comfortable there. And then you can actually change.
I think DG has a better understanding of the offense with less physical talent while Shador wants to make some bigger plays. Yeah, I think Shador has good playmaking instincts. He has the higher ability to layer footballs. You know, the accuracy can be there at times. It's just right now, I think what they're working with him on and what he has to work on is just working the structure of the offense, right? Making your life a lot easier as a quarterback. And you can see he's hitting a little bit of a wall here, right? Wouldn't freak out about it. Wouldn't, like, some people are going to dance on his grave on this, but wouldn't really freak out about it. But it's clear, like, okay, he's trying to work through the structure, but it's not how he's used to playing. So there's going to be a little bit of a wall. We saw Dylan hit the same wall during training camp, and people were freaking out. Darryl Ryder was on the radio saying he's the worst quarterback he's ever seen. By the way, 66 makes another tackle there on the field goal unit. And, you know, people were freaking out. Oh, is he going to get cut? All this stupid shit. And then he comes to the preseason. He works through that wall, and he's doing much better, right? So Shador's going to have to work through that same wall, you know. Let's give him the time. He's a developmental prospect. You're not going to make your decision on him based on 3 preseason games. You know, as much as it can be attractive to kind of go at some of the people who have been nonstop shouting that Shador should be starting, when that seems to be clear it's not the case. You know, it's also like, keep in mind, you do want the Browns to develop this guy into a viable quarterback. And this is part of the reason why the Browns have, you know, been a little bit more slow on the pull to put Shador in these games and to put Shador in these first team rep situations, because they know that there are things he needs to work on that, you know, going to take some time. And I think that's the thing. It's going to take some time. He's going to have some ups. He's going to have some downs. Today so far, clearly a down. Right, I don't think there's any doubt about it. But, you know, he's got to work through it, and he's got plenty of time to work through it. So just give him some time here, man. I know this performance is what I was afraid of him, and he might end up being good a good thing for him. He definitely looks like he should be the third string quarterback of all the quarterbacks that we've seen so far. I think that's a fair take. I think Dylan has looked pretty solid in the preseason. In the way that he's looked solid, his execution of the offense, it does seem like it's further along than where Shedeur is right now. 66 proving his name deserves to be on the in the stadium. Yeah, Huntington Bank Stadium. He's making his presence known. You know, who would have thought the Browns would have got a two-way player in this draft class without drafting Travis Hunter?
To university, the Cleveland Browns. Time for you to go to school on the Browns 2025 regular season schedule, which opens up in this very building 2 weeks from tomorrow against the Cincinnati Bengals. Not easy out of the gate because in the first 6 games, the Bengals are the only team that did not make the postseason a year ago.
Murderers row there to start the season.
Includes a game on NFL Network. Yeah, you notice 9:30 Cleveland time in the morning. That is over in London. It's Minnesota Vikings. Presley on the end around. Got a good block, but a nice tackle there. Christian Holmes. And then here's the second.
What I want to see from Shedeur now, right, because this start of the game has not been ideal from him, right? What I want to see from Shedeur is shake this shit off, right? You got a bad game. You're having a bad game. If you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I said the same thing for Dylan when he threw the interception last week, by the way, you're going to have bad moments in games. You're going to have a bad outing, a bad half. You're going to have interceptions, turnovers. You're going to play like shit sometimes, right? How do you bounce back from that? My God, Aiden Huntington is a fucking man. Yes, sir. Aiden Huntington's making the roster. But you're going to have bad moments as a quarterback, right? What I want to see is the bounce back. Don't let this spiral. You took a 35-yard sack on the last drive. You had a couple of guys open. You could have hitched up, stepped up, made the play. You didn't do it. You fucked up. You've been fucking up for a good amount in this half. Snap it on, new drive. Let's see you clear the mistake and play better after that, right? You know, don't just, oh my God, Aiden Huntington is a beast. Aiden Huntington is a beast. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So if you're Shedeur, and it's funny, right? I got called for, y'all see how chat works, by the way? When I said the same stuff for Dylan in the first half, people said I was making excuses for Dylan. I give the same treatment to Shedeur Sanders. I'm making excuses for Shedeur Sanders, right? The people who said I was making excuses for Shedeur are the ones who are okay with me saying the same stuff for Dylan Gabriel. The people who are now mad at me for saying the same stuff I said for Dylan, that supported me when I said this stuff about Dylan, are now mad at me because I'm excuse making for Shedeur. Horrific decision by Gabe Larberton to not grab that ball. Yeah, I don't think he's making the team. But you see how it works? Get out there, get some pep in your step, and just make something happen. Shake this shit off. If you need to get a game-winning drive to win this game, do it. But that's what I want to see from Shedeur now, right? It's been what it was so far. You can't change that. It's not been good. Let's shake that off. Let's clear the mechanism, and let's make some plays now, you know? That's what you want to see.
You know what I'm saying? One of us. Even when he shows up uninvited, it's never empty. See, he's nearly as smooth as Harwood.
Yeah, man. Matthew C says, I can't win. Yeah, I'm trying to be reasonable and play and be reasonable in a situation where people are unwilling to be reasonable. Like, ultimately. All right. Let's execute here, Shedeur. Let's get a screen going. Let's get something easy. Let's execute here, Shedeur. Don't hold the ball. Get rid of it quickly. Work in the rhythm. Let the offense work for you. You know, right now I see somebody who's trying to force the offense into what he wants it. Just let the offense work for you. It works. The offense works. It looked good for all the other quarterbacks that were out there. You got to trust it. You got to let it work for you. Rams QB has had enough of 66 to farmed him off. He been on his neck all game, bro. Aiden Huntington, my guy, makes the roster. Damn, that's impressive from Aiden right there. Back-to-back plays.
It's preseason football on News 5, brought to you by Toyota. For all Toyota offers, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Browns just picked up 15 yards, courtesy of a personal foul on the punt return against the Rams. In the meantime, let's check in once again with Aditi Kinkwala. He's on the sideline.
Oh, we got Swesson and Graham on the interview.
The two of you are always with each other in the building. Is that true?
Oh, no, my.
Is that accidental? That you live by each other?
I moved that first, then he moved out.
Okay. Well, Grant Delpit this week said if he were to use two words to describe Mason, violent and always attacking. That's an extra word. Violent and attacking. Is that accurate?
Oh, that's very accurate. Yeah, makes it very easy to play behind.
Two California boys out in Cleveland. What's been the biggest adjustment so far?
I was playing in the Midwest already, so I feel it's more of an adjustment for him, but I'm kind of used to it, similar to how Michigan was. But yeah, just fun playing here for the first time and looking forward to times.
Is Mason giving you any tips on the Midwest?
No, he hasn't really helped me out on how to deal with some of the weather here, but it's been great being out here.
Person, I hate to break it to you, you haven't experienced any of the weather just yet. All right, the green dot. We talked about it in Carolina. Now that you've got the 3 games in, where do you feel you are with it?
I'm very comfortable with it. Whatever they need me to do, I'm willing to do. Yeah.
Do you feel like he is indeed very comfortable back there?
Yeah, for sure. He makes all the right calls, tells us what to do. Good communication.
Special teams back out there?
All right, most important question. Which one of the two?
Oh, they got a repunt. That's good.
Oh, no, probably him, honestly.
See, they're still rookies, Chris, so they're modest.
That's pretty good, Aditi. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't think the Chip Sports would fit, but
Am I crazy for thinking Donovan McMillan makes the 53? I don't think so. I think he's going to make the practice squad.
adding a 5-year vet to the room. Rams had 2.
Gage is very lucky that that did not stand, because that was an awful decision for him not to catch that. That pinned him back at the 5. Now we get a re-snap and Shador gets better field positioning here. All right, man. Rough game so far for Shador. There's no way around it. It's a rough outing, right? Shit's not going his way. He's not really helping himself either. It's looking bad for him, right? Let's clear the mechanism, make some plays, and make this day a lot better, right? Just rebound from it.
Shador Sanders, 2 for 4 so far. Hands it off to Marshall.
All right, get a good run here on first down. Let's execute now.
Shador's also suffered a couple of sacks this afternoon.
Let's execute. Don't get a fucking penalty right now. Let's execute.
Cutdown day coming your way Tuesday at 4 o'clock Cleveland time. Hopefully the Browns escape severe injury bug today. We did see their starting center, Ethan Poston, with a
Let him play this out there for Sanders stands. If he's been sacked a lot in 3 different places, yeah, I mean that's a fair point, Ray Rags. Yeah.
Marshall.
There we go.
First down.
Hey.
Rams and Browns going at it face to face with guys trying to make one last impression.
All right, first down. That Amani Marshall.
So far, when Shador Sanders has been in, he just has that good blocking, pass protection, or run game, and it's put him in some difficult situations. So hopefully they can.
All right, empty hair, starting from instead. ahead, good field position. Let's make something happen. All right, get a check in. Let's make a play here.
Stuck around, want to see 12 do something special on 1st and 10.
You got it. You got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of this. Got to get rid of this ball here. Got to get rid of the ball. You got to get rid of that ball there, man. No, there's no way that's a fumble. But you just got to get rid of it. You cannot take a sack there. You have both. You had middle open. You had the curl over top. You had a clean pocket. You got to get rid of the ball. Just make your life easier, right? I think he knows that. I think that's why he's struggling right now. He has to learn that. Oh man, that might be a fumble. All right. So just take what's there. Just take what's there. You had multiple guys. There we go. Now, if you would have got that on 2nd down, we're talking about 3rd and 2. You got to just make your life easier. And by the way, to some Shedeur fans, I hope you understand, when I'm saying this stuff about him, it's not hating. This is what I was saying before this game that he needs to do that would make him play a lot better and avoid situations like this, right? Like, I'm trying to say stuff because I want Shedeur to be good. Not everybody who's not saying nothing but positive things about the guy is a hater, right? This is the stuff you need to see him execute on because now he's in 3rd and 10. He really should be in 3rd and 2. No, that's not good. Oh. I mean, that ball's behind him. Just trying to make something out of it. Guy comes across late. It's a tough throw, tough catch.
But still, that's a catchable ball. You got it.
It's a better drive than the last couple of possessions, but still some mistakes there.
Very different than the first time we saw him against the Carolina Panthers. The Hurricanes with a short punt. Fair catch called for.
Got to make your life easier. Got to make your life easier, man.
The Browns trying to hang on here in the preseason finale.
Company has changed the game.
It's called audio hearing.
It allows people to connect and to feel, frankly, normal.
This isn't just a bunch of kids with a dream. Like, we're really doing this. Bestseller in Walmart, bestseller in TV.
Yeah, Aiden Huntington's the guy, man.
He started it as an extra tight end, then he actually played a little defense, Ball carriers. Look at this. Cover once for Joey.
This is insane.
He does best.
There's a human missile off there. There's on the line of scrimmage. Here he's running right around the offensive guard, which is really gifty to play, and then running a stunt with another defensive tackle on the inside, gets the sack, knocks the ball free. Just a great job.
It's our player of the game brought to you by Terry.
All right, looks like Huntington is why they traded Briggs. I said this. He's making the roster for sure. I don't think you're sneaking him on a practice squad.
Briggs, who was a 7th rounder a year ago, shipped to the Jets along with a 7th rounder in return for a 6th rounder. So,
Oh, God.
Space for Huntington, who knows? Waters on the carry. Gains about 9. And for more on him, Aditi.
Chris, you look at him, and obviously he's one of those athletic tweeners, 6'1", 280. But Kevin Stefanski said he loves his style, and that today was really more about how he can handle the mental gymnastics of doing offense, of doing defense, of doing special teams. And I don't know, Joe, it looks like he handled them perfectly fine.
He's looking great out there. He's fun to watch. Certainly a guy that is a huge surprise. He's done a great job finding some of those late round guys, those undrafted crews.
Aiden Huntington versus Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, Dragon. All right, Dragon.
See, Browns fans want to see that man, George Sanders, one more time.
Hey, look, man, if the Rams score here, he's going to have to, go on a potential game-winning drive here. So you can redeem it all with how you play at the end here for sure.
Under 5 to go. Waters runs over Christopher Edmonds. Gains 6.
Would love to see him with the iPad right now. Hey, Browns fans, looking good. I'm out enjoying, but enjoy your weekend from Thomas Howard. Appreciate you.
Not even make the trip. Matthew Stafford, who just started practicing because of a disc issue in his back. He didn't make the trip. Neither did his backup, Jimmy Garoppolo, Monte Adams, Ruben Atua, their offensive line, their head trainer. Is that accurate?
It was down at the training room talking with some of the guys BSing before the game. And our head trainer,
Oh, Aiden. Got to finish that play, buddy.
trainer didn't even travel.
Got to finish that play.
Rams players that weren't going to be there today.
It's his body language. It reminds me of Jed Wills. Stop. He's not Jed Wills. Stop. But 66, have you ever seen a 66 on the punt kickoff team? No, but he's a beast. 66 is a beast. Please, let's not compare Shador to Jedrick Wills, y'all.
That's
Come on.
Go-ahead
Come on.
score.
That's a bit much.
Play fake. Win. Rolling left. Throwing. Tip. Incomplete.
Wow.
McAllen Castles
Good job, McAllen.
went in and out of his hands as Christopher Edmonds.
Are they going for it?
The defense by the Browns, they don't fall for the play action fake on third one. Typically third one, they can run the ball. So they stayed home, stayed true to their assignments, and right there to be able to help break that ball up, which is a tough catch for the guy that's kind of turning around. Castles there, trying to make that catch.
Looks like they're going for it.
Hopefully they're
There's whistles and a timeout. Sean McVay.
This is their second charge and a half.
Certainly excited to see Jim Schwartz in that defense hit the field 2 weeks from tomorrow. And you know what else is back for season 2? Juniors Brown back, which is presented by University Hospitals, Rainbow Babies and Children, and in association with Mark Credit Union.
The best Cleveland Browns channel on YouTube. Appreciate you, Divine. Another super chat here from Dragon. Let's not forget 66 played fullback and tight end on the first drive too. Good play by 39. Did he come down with that? There's no fucking way. What? What?
Rams are going to rush up to the line and try and say, yeah, let's.
Oh.
We'll see here maybe on the replay, but
No. Throw the fucking flag.
Kevin Stefanski, this is not regular season football. Well, Rams are going to get the playoff, and the catch will count.
All right, let's see Shador in the 2-minute here having to score.
We'll give you one more look at this. Kevin Stefanski's definitely.
Don't
But how about Drew Edwards?
know about that.
well, that was close, right?
That's close, though. I ain't going to lie.
Pure possession of the ball, and at what point does that booty?
But I understand, man. There's 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the last preseason game. People trying to get home. I understand.
See the timing of
It's NFL equals 2 feet. Second, 6.
False start.
Drew Edwards, his pops, Troy, a former first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. One time his dad in college.
number 70.
21 catches, 405 yards for Louisiana Tech against Nebraska. Oh, yeah.
I hope you got a still available after that game.
He just kept running.
That's right. How many touchdowns? I love to know. You hardly know any stats. So you've changed. You've lost the sauce.
What happens? Second and 11.
Yeah.
Browns looking for a stop. Waters in the backfield. Browns blitzing.
Oh.
Coming first down inside the 5.
All right.
I feel like the cheer against the Browns, but it was hoping you get in there so we can Shador another opportunity. Browns send a blitz. They're running a strong crosstalk there, trying to get home, but the Rams do a good job picking it up. And then that's the problem. When you do send extra blitzers, there's a lot of holes in your coverage. Rams are running a quick slant there, and they found the hole in the secondary, able to get the ball out and give themselves an opportunity here right on the ball.
Rams have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. Waters trying to bounce outside. He's going to get into the end zone, and we've got a tie game.
All right.
3 to go.
All right, Shador. You've had a pretty shitty game, but, like, let's go out there. Let's make something happen with this 2-minute. Let's win the game here. Let's win the game. Got to shake it off, win the game here. Don't need a big play. You got 2 minutes, 3 timeouts. You saw how Dylan worked the offense, right? He was able to get up and down the field about, 1 minute 40? 20 seconds left. Left on the clock after his drive. All right, man. Let's do the same thing. Work through the offense, work through the 2-minute. Let's get comfortable here. You even got the 2-minute warning potentially. So just don't try to get a big play. Oh, and a blocked field goal makes this tied. So chance to win or tie right here. Are they going to call penalty on the Browns?
Darius Rush, offense is right, just gets a jump a little bit too quickly there.
All right, let's redeem yourself here, right? You know, pretty bad day, but if you get a game-winning drive here.
Jenner is trying to skip past that wing player to get his hands in the air and try to get a block, but you're reading the ball, body language of the snap, right? You're trying to take any little cues on when you need to go. And when you go, you go.
Did you learn that from Ruben?
And bring the Aldi nuts out, or I'm a Shador hater. No Aldi nuts in the preseason. I'm sorry. I'm not breaking them out in the preseason. I've told you guys that. I didn't break them out for week 1 when Shador started. I didn't break them out for week 2. Is Tyler Huntley going in? It looked like Snoop. Yeah, Shador has no helmet.
The week is bothering a little bit. That's what we heard. The week of Philadelphia, they're not allowed to take any team reps. Then he's not able to play the game. We had Andrew Berry here in the third quarter telling us about his toughness, able to come back so quickly. from that injury, not exactly clear if Shador is just feeling frustrated. That's why he went for the walk, or if he was maybe looking to go to the locker room to get those ribs checked out or the checked out.
Well, this has been a lot.
That's strange.
For several months. We get it that he's a star. It has been for quite some time. That ball's going to go out of the end zone. Browns have started at 35. But all eyes have been focused on him.
Yeah, Snoop.
All
right.
We don't have to mark on it again, but it ends up being picked 144 in the fifth round. Then here, where are you on the depth chart? You've got a rookie that they drafted ahead of you, so maybe they don't like you as much. There's been a lot. And as I mentioned, every press conference he has had, he has stood there and handled things beautiful.
They booed Snoop Huntley.
Any of us today, protection was not there. Shador was not feeling comfortable with movement in the pocket. Receivers not getting open. Just not what you hoped. The opportunity for him to show off his stuff and get that true first opportunity to evaluate those two rookie quarterbacks on the same field against the same defense.
It's a penalty.
But there is a flag. So we'll see if that is a keeper or not for Cam Lampkin.
I think they can call pass interference.
Defense, number 33. See right here.
Yep, a little bit of a hole.
It's allowing itself to kind of slingshot underneath.
So Browns still on the ball.
Yeah, Shador got the cam towel on his head. It's a rough day. It's a rough day. Hey, once that cam towel come on, bro, like that Cam Newton towel is the official sign of your quarterback is having an awful day. There is no other sign that your quarterback is having a bad day than putting on that Cam Newton towel, bro. Every quarterback I've ever seen. And here's what I mean with the cam. I'll get the towel. I'll show you. Yeah, when you see the towel like this, right, and it's over here, I don't care what sport it is. If it's basketball, football, you see your best player or one of your favorite players sitting here with that towel, it's a rough day. It's a rough day. It's the towel of shame. It's the Cam Newton towel. It's been a rough day for the brother, man. But I wouldn't give up hope on him yet. Like that, it's just a preseason game. There really shouldn't be hot takes about it, but you know, it is what it is, right? That Cam Newton towel, oof, it's tough. It's tough. Was Shador about to go to the locker room? What's going on with him? He looks pissed. He's frustrated. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think he was asking for his helmet, but I think they took it from him because he was hurt. I wouldn't read too much into that. Yeah, once you get that towel on, brother, it's cooked. It's cooked. I remember I saw Darius Garland with that towel on. I was hurt. And Donovan Mitchell with that towel on. I was hurt. That's how I knew it was over. He had the towel on, dog. It was a game 4. That towel ain't never a good thing. Hey, Deshaun Watson, when he had that towel on, he knew it was fucking over. But yeah, man. Now look, it's not that deep, y'all. It's really not that deep. Shador looking bad in the preseason game, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Like, he looked bad. It was rough. He got the towel on. It's tough. He got the towel on. Like, it's rough. But this isn't his whole career right here. His whole career wasn't riding on a couple quarters in the preseason. Only people who are serving you like disingenuous narratives were telling you shit like that. His career is going to be fine. He's going to have other opportunities. He's probably going to get the opportunity to play during the season. This will be a footnote in his career. We got a false start here. Q, you have a QB preference or you trust the staff? I mean, I'm fine with Joe Flacco being the starter. And I've liked what I've seen so far from Dylan and Shador, despite this game. Yeah, I think he should. And by the way, I think Shador should be out there, but they might be worried that he injured something because he did take a couple nasty hits. I think that's more of why Tyler's in there. I think Shador might have injured something. Oh, free 5 yards. Again, it's the fourth quarter of a preseason game, y'all. There really shouldn't be that many hot takes.
So the Browns at 151 as Snoop Huntley has entered the game. Browns maybe setting up a potential game-winning field goal. We've seen those attempts before in the preseason.
Dustin Hopkins struggled a little bit here in preseason, so maybe give him one more opportunity to build confidence going into that Bengals game with one more chance for a long field goal.
Huntley with flags down, rolling right, throws, and incomplete. He was looking for Coda.
What's the flag?
Maybe
all of a sudden it's a flag fest out here with these.
Jeez. Yeah, it looks like the last free first down.
Kendrick in the corners.
Not often you see the cornerback lining up offsides.
So now the ball on the Rams side of the field. I think we'd all like to see Dustin Hopkins get another crack from 50 plus. That's what it comes down.
It's here, quarter. Middle might be open. No, they're bringing the guy there. Oh. Is he okay? A Shador fan here, very low-key glad he had this game like this. The media and Shador fans' narrative is not him pushing to be number one, only up from here. Yeah, you know. Look, I don't think I wouldn't be glad, but I would say, you know, if you're a Shador fan, like, just let the season play out, you know. Hey, this might Tyler Huntley getting the Jacoby Brissett game-winning drive. Remember the drive versus the Panthers where it was like 50% penalties on a game-winning drive? Led to a super long Cade York field goal that won the game. I would probably put Schmidt in there. To kick the game winner.
He was being helped to his feet.
If he's still on the team. Yeah, I think Shador is pulled right now because of injury concern. I mean, he took a couple of nasty shots so far. Like, he took a couple of nasty shots, and he's coming off the oblique. I would assume that has to be an injury thing.
Studio's positive side here to see McDonald up on his feet.
Yeah, that looked nasty, man. He took a nasty hit.
Starting in just a few moments, Seahawks and Packers are not going to be able to. We won't miss the start of that game. We will show you both of these games, the conclusion of Rams and Browns. As soon as that goes final, we'll take you to Green Bay for Seahawks and Packers here on NFL.
Ball comes in a little bit low, receiver comes down, maybe Packers.
The official had the wrong team receiving. He just switched it up so Green Bay will get the opening kickoff. And away it goes out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
Those split-second moments as a defensive player, some really serious explosions there in the second half.
Several members of the Browns training staff walking McDonald down the tunnel into the locker room. We're back. Huntley's going to hang it to
First down.
Close to another first down before running out of bounds. just about a yard shy of the first down.
So, back there by Mitch Van Foren. The Browns are running a zone read here. Tyler Huntley decides to pull the ball, and they actually have a lead blocker for him, which is kind of the next evolution of that zone read, where you're sending a blocker out there to give that quarterback somebody to lead it down the field.
And Andre Schmidt is actually the one that's warming up for a potential game-winning kick. Marshall moves the chains inside the 25 down to about the 22 and a half. Clock is running. Rams do have one timeout. So now Browns just playing the position game. Again, where do you like the ball? Maybe in the middle.
Yeah, clearly within easy field goal range for an NFL kicker. Playing to win the game, trying to get out of here without any injuries, because being mindful it still is preseason. But trying to play this somewhat game-like regular season game where you feel pretty good about being in that position, and then you talk to your kicker and say, hey, buddy, which house should you like it on?
Marshall.
Yeah, it was a rough day for sure, man.
The Browns are officially in the red zone.
No, D-Hop's not going to be kicking in the second half. That's going to be Schmidt.
To the dog pound. 3 trips, 3 scores, and a 4th would give the Browns a perfect preseason. Nervous?
More than I would expect, Chris. All of a sudden you said it, and I felt my heart rate go up a little bit. I am a little bit nervous. We were hoping to see maybe Dustin Hopkins get one more opportunity, but the guy with the last name that I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce,
Schmidt.
Very Polish, maybe? I don't know, somewhere in there.
Right. Browns are going to set it up right in the middle and take the clock all the way down.
All right, Mr. Schmidt. Call timeout.
So what do you think? Last week we saw Nick Sirianni call a timeout, icing kickers in the preseason. Does Sean McVay do the same to Kevin Stefanski yet again?
Sean McVay still at the game, or did he already load up his plane and he's ready?
What do you think?
I don't think he ices him, and I think Dale is right down the middle with Schmidt.
The guy that was a All-American, Rosa Award winner as a freshman at Syracuse, and now looking to win it for the Browns from 37 yards out. A perfect preseason on the line. The snap, the hold, the kick. There you go, Browns fans.
Game winner.
Preseason.
Game winner.
All right, not exactly the ending that we had envisioned, or that's maybe not.
Yeah, man, I don't know what to tell y'all. It was rough for Shador. Lots of positives, I think, to get out there from the people who will be playing during the first half of the season, right? And Vincent says we're going to go 0-17. Now, the Minnesota Vikings went undefeated in the preseason last year. They went 14-3. Yeah, so it was rough. I ain't gonna lie, it's rough. I gotta look at the film to see just how rough it was for him, but it was rough. No doubt about it. It was rough for the guy. It was rough. He had a fumble. It was rough. Akalon says Super Bowl confirmed. I hope so. But let me get live on Bleacher Report, and then we'll be able to do the post-game show. Akalon says Super Bowl confirmed. Yeah, let me make sure that we got the thing in. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, we won the preseason. We absolutely did. We absolutely won the preseason. Mr. Schmidt legged it in there for us. No, Shador's not getting cut. That's stupid. Come on, guys. Let's not overreact to a preseason game. I feel like I'm in this endless vortex of telling people not to overreact to stuff in the preseason. But positive, people want to overreact. Negative, people want to overreact. It's important that we not overreact to the preseason. It is very important. Schmidt should be the kicker going forward. Book it. I don't know if they'll do that, but he should definitely be on the practice squad at the very least. All right, what's up, everybody? I am live here on YouTube and also on Bleacher Report. We're doing the postgame show for the Cleveland Browns' third preseason game. I thought there was a lot of good to talk about. I thought there was a lot of good in the first half, especially. Second half was a bit more of a mixed bag, but I think you saw some stuff from the people that you wanted to see some stuff for the most part. Obviously, I think the people are going to want to talk about, right, is Shedeur. How Shedeur looked, why Shedeur didn't look good. Ray Rag says you should try and get Cobe on here one day, even if it's just for a little bit. Live Q and Cobe would be fun during the game. Yeah, we can make that happen. We'll see. We'll see if the schedules line up. I know Cole, he's not normally like on working during the games. So now that the second half has been completed, right? I did my recap of the first half here, and now I've recorded the second half. And look, there's no way around it. Shedeur had a rough one. It was an official rough game, right? You know the sign of a rough game from an athlete where just stuff ain't going well is that Gatorade towel. You put that Cam Newton towel over your head, it's been a rough day, right? We've seen that dreaded Gatorade towel over the face of LeBron James. It hasn't been good. Deshaun Watson, you know what I mean? When the towel is being rubbed, good stuff, right? When the towel is hanging over the head, not good stuff. It was an official Gatorade towel performance from Shedeur. My man did not look good. Now, look, I'm going to be honest here, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people who've been waiting a very long time to use this as an opportunity, not necessarily to dunk on Shedeur Sanders, the person, but to dunk on Shedeur Sanders supporters. My job is not to dunk on one fan base or the other. My job is to talk about the football, right? And if we're being honest about the football, we have to acknowledge that this is the second half of the final preseason game, and that we shouldn't be taking too much from it. Did Shedeur look bad in this one? Yes. Does that mean that all of a sudden you should be talking about Shedeur getting cut from the roster? No, right? Everything that Shedeur did before that game still counts. You know, the game wasn't great, but maybe there will be opportunities to learn from this game for him, right? I still think he is developing. Now, the one thing I will say to the Shedeur fans who have been very, very hostile towards anybody with any slight amount of criticism towards him, this is the kind of stuff that Shedeur needs to work on that we've been talking about for a while, and it's not stuff that people are saying out of bad faith, right? The criticism that Shedeur holds on to the ball too long, that he needs to learn to be a little bit more comfortable in structure, that's not people saying stuff out of bad faith. That's people saying this stuff because they want Shedeur to be a better quarterback. And I think that was demonstrated today. I think Shedeur's biggest problem in this game, outside, look, the line wasn't great, but, you know, it's not like he was going up against the Rams starters, right? Like the Rams were playing scrubs, the Browns were playing scrubs around him. So it's not really something I care about if the personnel was good for Shedeur. It wasn't good for Shedeur. It wasn't good for the Rams, right? So, you know, scrubs going up against scrubs, and I hate to call people scrubs, but you know what I mean? Third stringers, fourth stringers going up against other third stringers, fourth stringers. It's a fair fight. The blocking from the pass blocking perspective wasn't great, but I thought Shedeur in that first preseason game did a much better job of keeping his head upfield, of stepping up in the pocket, and not relying as much on rolling out. In this game, he seemed to make a backward step there, right? Like he was rolling out a lot. He wasn't really waiting for stuff. He wasn't hanging in there, right? That's the stuff I really liked from his tape week one that just wasn't there today. There were a couple situations where he stepped up, but he just didn't let the ball go. I'm going to go off and I'm going to say this. I think Shedeur is simply hitting a rookie wall, right? We saw this with Dillon Gabriel the 2 weeks before the preseason, where all the reports were that Dillon Gabriel looks awful, right? Daryl Ryder was on radio talking about Dylan Gabriel looking like the worst quarterback he's ever seen, and he was having bad practices. He was hitting a wall for sure. And now we're seeing Dylan start to get on the other side of that wall, and what Dylan did in this game I thought was legitimately impressive, right? It was indicative of what the coaching staff had been saying all along, that Dylan was ahead of Shedeur, that Dylan is more ready to play right now, and that Shedeur has a lot of upside, and they're still going to try to get that out of him, right? I think that was all on display today. And my point is that Dylan had those rough couple of weeks. He hit the wall. He came out of it. He looks a lot better. Shedeur clearly hitting a wall, right? Struggling to trust the structure of the offense, reading it the way that the offense needs to be read. He's hitting a wall there. Doesn't mean his career is over. Doesn't mean that you got to go and have these hot takes, call him garbage just because you want to dunk on his fans. It just means that the guy had a rough game, right? He's a rookie quarterback. He certainly looked like a rookie quarterback today. He had himself a rough game. I'm not going to overreact to it in a negative way, the same way I advise people to not overreact to one positive game. And again, this is why we don't overreact in the preseason, because you don't want people to swing violently based off preseason performance. I hope we all learn that lesson here, because there's been a lot of overreacting in the preseason. So all in all, it was a very rough outing for Shedeur. He really struggled to find the structure, the rhythm of the offense. It seems like he might have hurt his oblique again. He didn't play in the last drive of the game. And it wasn't helpful that Tyler Huntley came in with the same offense against the same defense that he'd been playing and struggling against all day, and went right down the field for a game-winning drive. Now, it was mainly assisted by penalties, but he was more impressive as a passer in that drive in this specific game than Shedeur was. That's not a good look for Shedeur. People are going to use that against him. Again, I'm not going to overreact to it, right? It wasn't a good day for Shedeur Sanders. Again, official Gatorade top performance. Not good. But still more things to come in his career other than the third quarter or fourth quarter of preseason games. Either way, you want to see him improve, get better, right? I think the thing I was disappointed the most in was the seeming regression that he's had in his pocket mechanics. Seemed to really default to rolling out a lot. I hope he learned a lesson, right? Stay in that pocket. The pocket is safe, right? Step up, work through it, get through your progressions, get through your reads, let the offense help you, make your life easier. I know it's nice when Shedeur makes some of these tight window throws and everybody gets excited, but you can't live off tight window throws in the NFL. You got to be able to make your life easier by using your mind to get the ball where it needs to be on time early. And that's somewhere where Shedeur is going to have to make some progress. And I think somebody in chat pointed this out. It shouldn't be a surprise that Dylan is a little bit more advanced in this area than Shedeur. Dylan's played a lot more college football at higher levels, right? Shedeur has only played 2 years, major college football. Dylan has played 6 years FBS football versus Shedeur's 2. He's played way more snaps. He is the FBS touchdown leader from the quarterback position. He's had a very long career, very experienced career. Preseason football is something that he was going to excel at, and he seemed to excel at that. So it shouldn't really be that much of a surprise. But the Browns are probably looking at it like, hey, Dylan's going to be somebody we're looking at to see what we can get out of him right now. And then Shedeur's going to be somebody we develop behind the scenes for a little while here. I don't think that's crazy. But that all being said, right, the Shedeur element of it all, that's not the only thing that happened in the second half of this game. I think the most impressive thing that happened in the second half of this game was straight up Aiden Huntington. Aiden Huntington, I'm excited to see what kind of role he can get during the regular season, because he straight up dominated this game in the second half. Low key, the only reason the Browns were able to win this game is because Aiden Huntington was just a monster on defense. I think he is a highlight to look at. I thought Amani Marshall continued to have a strong preseason, the same one that he's been having. You know, got some successful runs in that game-winning drive as well. So I think you saw some stuff from the UDFA guys that you like. And again, if we just zoom out a little bit, right, and get out of the immediate conversation of just talking about this game, and we just look at the rookie draft class so far, right? We have seen something from every rookie to get you excited, and I think that's a great place to be at with your draft class. Mason Graham dominating 2 days of joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's incredibly encouraging. That's your 5th overall pick, right? You get to your second pick, that is Carson Schlesinger. You've seen a lot out of Carson. People have been raving about Carson all camp. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to see Quincy Junkins, but when he was out there in OTAs, he was pretty impressive. Then you jump to the 3rd round selection. Harold Faden had a couple of nice moments in this game, had a touchdown pass from Joe Flacco off of a post route. It was pretty nice to see Harold Faden have that, right? You go to the 4th round pick, Dylan Sampson. He's had a couple of runs, a nice little run reception in this game, something to give you excitement about him going forward. And the fact that he started this game, very encouraging, right? Even for me, somebody who's a little bit more skeptical about his ability to really contribute day one. Then you move on to Dylan Gabriel, right? The other 3rd round pick. I think these last 2 preseason games have been pretty impressive from him. I think this last outing was exactly what you wanted to see from him, right? Did not make the same mistakes he made in the first one. No turnovers, scored a touchdown, scoring drives both times he was out there, long drives both times he was out there, operated the offense at a very efficient and effective level. I mean, super efficient preseason from Dylan. Very impressive. Exactly what you wanted to see from him coming into this situation. And you're pretty impressed. Like, I think a lot of people were perplexed about the Dylan Gabriel pick when it happened, but I think after this preseason, a lot more people understand why this coaching staff, myself included, felt this way about Dylan. I at least see the vision for Dylan Gabriel now, right? Which wasn't necessarily the case when they made the selection for Dylan. So you're in a much better space there. So you gotten to see something out of Dylan. And then your last pick of the draft, Shedeur Sanders, look, was not impressive today, but was impressive in his first preseason outing. So you got that level of encouragement. And then we're talking about UDFAs now, right? Amani Marshall, an undrafted free agent. That's bonus money right there. He's looked pretty good. A lot of people think Donovan McMillan might be able to make the roster. I think he'll be on the practice squad. A lot of people feel like Gage Labradin might make the roster. Again, I think he's practice squad material, not main roster material just now. Aiden Huntington might make the roster, right? Amani Marshall might make the roster. You know, very good year of offseason acquisitions for this football team as far as the draft process is concerned. Right now, at least it looks like, right? So you're about as encouraged as you could be about all of these draft picks. You have had something to encourage you at some point in this process. And I think that's very successful. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the preseason overall. You know, we can micro-analyze and overreact to individual games here or there, but the reality is that you've seen something positive from every single draft pick and even some UDFAs who have really jumped out to you. And if this trend continues for the Cleveland Browns, we're going to be talking about this draft class for quite a while because this is the kind of draft class that can change a lot there. So all that, pretty good. You know, that's my thoughts so far on kind of recapping this preseason game and then trying to make sure they'll talk about everything that's possible to be talked about. But let's continue here, right? Because there's also other stuff to talk about. What do y'all think this conversation is going to be on Shedeur? Right. Let's see here. Let's see what chat's on. Yeah, I see a couple people jumping in. Shedeur sucks. Pretty sure the Browns won. Yeah, they won the game. Nice game-winning drive there. Nice field goal by Andrew Smith. I don't know if he makes the team. He might be practice squad, but, you know, the more kicking options, the better, right? 53-man cut down happens on Tuesday. I think they're going to keep 4 throughout the roster, right? I think some people are trying to, like, sell you on this idea that Shedeur got cut today. He did not get cut today. He's going to make the team. You know, I think Andrew Berry alluded to that earlier. Like, we're having a lot of hot takes here, but I think it's fine for him, right? I think it's fine. Yeah, I see some people out here micro-analyzing like the body language from Shedeur in this. Again, I just find that kind of stuff very unhelpful, because oftentimes when we analyze body language, we're so incredibly wrong about what we're analyzing, and nobody ever comes back and acknowledges it. I don't know what happened between Shedeur and the medical staff. He seemed frustrated, but it's really not my I don't have enough information to tell you how I feel about that right now. If the team says something or the team puts him under some kind of suspension, whatever. But, it's nuts here, right? Just try to have a level mind about this. And honestly, if you are a non-Shedeur fan and you've been sitting here and complaining nonstop about how obnoxious Shedeur fans have been, use this as an opportunity to not be just as bad as you said those people are, right? If you've been sitting here complaining that Shedeur fans have been obnoxious, don't sit here the first time he has a bad game in the preseason, do all the stuff that you hated that they did. You know what I mean? Try to be better. Right? Try to be a smidge better. And remember, Shedeur being good, Shedeur producing for this team is good for the football team, right? They're both on the same team. They're both for the Cleveland Browns, and I want both of these guys to be as good as they can possibly be for this football team. And overreacting to one half of preseason football is not what you do to somebody who's on your team, right? Remember, he's on the Browns. We should be supportive of him. We shouldn't be looking for reasons to tear him down just because you don't like some people who root for him. So if you've been complaining about the fact that people haven't been more Browns oriented, they haven't been focusing on the betterment of the team, well, don't you do the same thing that you've been complaining these people have been doing, right? You've been sitting here complaining about Shedeur fans not wanting what's best for the Browns. Don't sit here and root against the Browns' best interest just because you're happy that some of his fans can shut up for a couple of weeks. Don't do that. This guy's on your team. If he played for the Steelers, whatever, it's open season. But he's on the Browns. So you should want the guy on the Browns to look good, and you shouldn't be happy if the guy on the Browns looks bad. All right, we got some chat here from Bleacher Report. Otto says, I just think Shedeur needs to read the defense as well as Gabriel. I think that's simple. I don't know if it's read the defense. I think he needs to work through the play and trust the play the same level that Dylan does. In the same level that Joe does, right? It seems like for Shedeur, it's like 1, maybe 2 in this game, and then he freaks out and rolls out. And that was disappointing to see from Shedeur, because in the first preseason game, he was working through his progressions and then making the play. Sometimes he didn't pull the trigger, but that can be fixed. I thought what was most disappointing was that he didn't want to work through those progressions today. For whatever reason. Hey, Flacco still has a cannon. Absolutely. I mean, we saw nothing from Joe Flacco here that would make me concerned about the season going forward with him, right? I think he's fine. Huntington makes it right. The dude has to get a look. Huntington right now is definitely going to make the team, in my opinion. Because let's talk about Aiden Huntington. Aiden Huntington is the best special teamer that we have by a wide margin. He's the best special teamer we have. At any position, he's the best special teamer we have. He is also one of the better pass rushers at that 3T position of those third level guys. And he's also a fullback. He's going to make the team. Sean Phillips says, I just want Shedeur to stay level-headed. He will learn in time. He just needs to continue to learn, develop. Yeah, you want to, and that's what I was disappointed to not be able to see him in that 2-minute drill, because I wanted to see him have this bad game and then work through that to go and try to win the game at the end, because he's going to have that. You know, look, to play quarterback in Cleveland more than any other city, it's going to take a significant amount of emotional maturity and emotional resilience. Because this is not an easy city to play quarterback for, right? People always talk about Philadelphia being a tough city to play quarterback in. People always talk about New York being a tough city to play quarterback in, or Boston being a tough city to play quarterback in because the fans are mean. The fans are meaner in Cleveland. And I'm saying this with love. I'm from Cleveland. I grew up on the east side, went to school. You know, I could take the 93F down to fucking Tower City. I know this city. I grew up in this city. It's not an easy city to play quarterback in because the fans will support you and the fans will get angry. They're passionate about this team. And for Shedeur, if he wants to be the quarterback for a long time here, he's going to have to understand it's not always going to be support from the fan base. You go 3 and out 3 times in that stadium, we're going to boo the shit out of you. That's just what it is, you know? And the same thing goes for Dylan, right? You're going to go out there sometimes and get booed. You got to be able to withstand that. And sometimes that takes quarterbacks a long time. Baker Mayfield famously struggled with this, right? When he got booed in Cleveland in 2021 after being the savior in 2020 and 2018, that fucked with him. It bothered him. And you saw it. Deshaun Watson gets booed in the stadium. It bothered him. It's not an easy city to play quarterback in. And I think people need to understand that. There's a level of preparing that you have to do for the fact that this is Cleveland, right? And I'll give Dylan Gabriel a lot of credit because he walked into a hostile environment. Everybody on the fault was ready to root for Shedeur and shit on Dylan. And look, I wasn't a big fan of Dylan either. But Dylan weathered that storm. He had beat reporters just talking all kind of nasty stuff about him on different segments. He withstood that noise. He got all the criticism for the comment last week that was really a nothing burger. And he went out there, he played football. Now, obviously, that's not the same as doing this during the regular season when the pressure is real. But it's something I can applaud him for. Now we're going to see how Shedeur handles it, right? Because it's all been hand claps and high fives and let's go Shedeur pretty much. Now there's going to be a little bit of adversity and we're not going to be able to see him for a while, right? So how he handles this, some negative press. There are going to be people, some opportunists in the media that are going to use this as an opportunity to say some nasty stuff about him, the same way that they use his draft slide to throw some nasty stuff at him. And he just has to show that same resilience that he showed while he was falling in the draft. This is an opportunity for Shedeur, right? I've always said it's about the long term with him. It's about the development of him. But he has to learn how to make some of these things that were extremely negative today and work them into experiences he can learn from so he can get better overall. You know what I mean? It's the preseason. It's preseason. He's not going to get cut because he had a bad couple of quarters in the preseason. You know, but how do you respond from it? It's not a great day. People are going to talk about you. There's a lot more pressure he has on his shoulders when he goes out there than anybody else. You know, how does he handle that? I think that's important. You know what I mean? And again, if you're a Browns fan and you're celebrating the fact that one of the players on the Cleveland Browns have not looked good today, why? Like, are you really a Browns fan? Like, really? You know, a lot of y'all have prided yourselves on being Browns fans when people were upset that Colorado fans were coming in here and praising Shedeur and talking about we're only here for Shedeur. If you're a Browns fan right now and you're celebrating that a Browns player didn't look good, what are you doing? Like, snap out of it. What are you doing? You know what I mean? I don't care how much beef you got with people in the comment section who rep the Colorado Buffs. Are you not a Browns fan? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be above that. Like, you've been talking like you've been above it. Be above it. You know, I'm not sitting here dancing on his grave. I've gotten a lot of harassment from Shedeur people. I've gotten a lot of harassment from a bunch of different quarterback stands over the last 5 years. I'm never happy when the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns looks bad. I wanted Deshaun to work until it was obvious that Deshaun wasn't. You know, I wasn't happy to see him look terrible. It wasn't something that excited me because he's a Browns player. I want the players on the Browns to look good. I'm never happy when the Cleveland Brown doesn't have a good day. So if you're happy right now because you're winning the argument online, you really need to check yourself. You know what I mean? And this is somebody who, like, an hour and a half ago when I said Dylan looked good, was having to defend himself from being called a Dylan supporter or whatever what people were trying to call me, right? Giving excuses to them. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with it more than you. Check yourself. If you're happy a Browns player looked bad and you claim to be a Browns fan, it's not something that you should be excited about. I get that some people in that thing I get that some people are insufferable, but you gotta be above it. Like, do you care about the Browns or do you care about winning arguments online? And also, if you find these people to be insufferable to argue with, stop arguing with them online. Stop taking the bait. If they say something stupid, do what I do. I just ignore it. I'm like, all right, somebody said something stupid. Just ignore it. Get off the internet. Go outside. This shouldn't consume your entire being. There's other stuff to do during the day. There's no winning this for me. There's no position I can take on this where people are going to be happy. All I can do is be fair to the football team, be fair to the people who come to this channel for fair coverage on every single player on this football team. And if you don't like that I'm being fair to one player or the other, then you're not going to have a good time here. There's plenty of people who will sell you, biased garbage. I try to not do that. I try to be as fair as I possibly can be to players that I believe in, to players that I don't believe in, to players that I'm not a fan of, to players that I am a fan of, to players that I am disgusted by off the field, to players that I admire off the field. I try to be just as fair to every single one of them. That's what I do here. I'm not going to be on somebody's train, dog. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be happy when the Cleveland Brown looks bad. That's not what I'm going to do. But I am happy of how this team has looked in the preseason. I'm happy with what we've seen out of Dylan. You've seen some sparks out of Shador. You've seen something from every draft pick here. The offensive line has been able to run block good. This is a good day. The Browns are finishing off a really good camp. They went against the world champs in practice for 2 days, and people are saying the Browns' first team won those 2 practices. This has been a good offseason and a good training camp for the Cleveland Browns. I'm excited to see what this team looks like when they go against the Cincinnati Bengals. This is what you wanted to see, right? This is the opposite of the preseason that we had last year. This is the opposite of the training camp that this football team had last year. This is a good place to be in, Cleveland Browns fans. You're happy with what you've seen. The football didn't look sloppy. They look like a well-coached football team, don't they? They look like a well-coached football team, a well-prepared team. We're not having the same conversations we had last year. Can Kevin get his guys prepared? We were talking about that a ton last year. We're not having those conversations. Now, I don't know what that's going to turn into for regular season football, but I do feel confident that the Browns aren't going to be embarrassing this year like they were last year. The Browns aren't going to be a complete drag to watch. So that's kind of my takes out of it. What, is it Auto Trader? That's a clever name. Says completely agree. It's about the name on the front. I just want to be good. I don't care who's our quarterback. Yeah, and I think that's my overall philosophy, man. I think we all want to answer at quarterback, and whatever answer we can get at quarterback, we want to ride to a Super Bowl. Someone said Asante Samuel Jr. Should the Browns bring in Asante? I don't know, man. I've not been all for it, but at this point, man, any help you can get at corner is going to be useful because we're not deep at corner at all. We're not deep at corner at all. Yeah. So, been an interesting day. I'm sure, and also I want to say this. And this will be the last thing I say before we head out. Anybody producing a national TV show that puts on national TV a segment about a second half of a preseason game is shameless. There's going to be a lot of shameless hot takes out there. And look, I told you guys about this a month ago, and nobody wanted to listen to me, and nobody will probably listen to me now. But I mentioned, I'm like, hey, all this energy that's propping Shedeur up right now, the second he looks bad, watch how fast that energy comes in the negative direction. And, you know, I think we're going to see that this week. I think people are going to spend a lot of time this week overreact. Maybe because it's his first time he's looked bad in the preseason, people don't overreact to it. But there's going to be some opportunists out there that are going to make a big deal out the preseason, right? And I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. You know, I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel should be the starter because he's looked really good when he's out there. I'm not going to say Shedeur should be cut because he didn't look good today. Don't make a big deal out of it. You know, if you like Shedeur before this, you should probably still like Shedeur. If you think Shedeur had potential before this, you should still think he has potential. But there's obvious things he needs to learn and get better at. And I think that was the main point a lot of people have been trying to get through. He's not ready to play right now. I think that was clear. Now he gets to develop, hopefully get to learn and not be rushed out there. And I think that'd be the best thing for him. Hopefully this leads him to a successful career. But that's my thoughts. That's the post-game show. I've been super excited to have over 1,000 people in chat for every preseason game, man. Chat, give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand. I need chat to give themselves a round of applause here. You know, as much as y'all been frustrating me the last 2 weeks, I've been pretty impressed with the numbers we've been getting. Ray Rag says, don't know if you saw AB told KS, Kevin, he could announce that Huntington made the 53. Brother, Huntington made the 53-man roster the second Jawan Briggs got traded. So give a clap to chat. Big shout out to y'all, man. Big shout out to y'all. It's been a fun preseason. It's been one of the funner preseasons I've ever covered. I've had a great time, you know. Wish that Shedeur could have had a better outing out there. I think that would have been fun to go into this with some excitement about him. Right now, you know, it's a bit of a reality check that he has a lot to learn, and I think we all kind of understood that. But super excited with what we've seen so far. I'm looking forward to the season. And, man, like 3 months ago, a lot of y'all weren't looking forward to the season. But I don't know, man. After what we've seen in camp, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe they got me again. Maybe I'm falling for it one more time. But I don't know. Think the Browns might be good this year, baby. Oh, just when they pull me out, just when I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in. They keep pulling me back in, man. Just when I think I'm like, you know what, we're going to be under 500, it's fine. They pull me back in, and now I believe that they might be able to be above 500. Maybe I'm a fool, but you know what? I'd rather be a fool for the Browns than cynical against them, right? I'd rather feel good than feel bad. I'm not going to pregame sadness. I don't ever encourage pregaming sadness. And I don't think there's anything to pregame here. I think we can look forward to the Browns being a competitive football team this year, and a team that's at least not going to embarrass you week in, week out. Hopefully I'm right on that. We'll see. We'll see. But that's my thoughts. Thank you if you joined me on Bleacher Report. If you joined me on another platform, I appreciate you there. Everybody continue to have a great day. Everybody continue to have an even better night. Peace.